Let us pray. Father, we thank you for today. Your will that the people organize this day. That the community leadership on 2021. Father, we thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for the understanding. We are better. We are going to run from today to Sunday. We pray for peace, pray for understanding, pray for unity, pray for oneness. That we start today with us in peace, we will end in peace. It is our desire. It is answered in the name of God the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Nice one.
You say.
Can you hear him? Can you hear him?
Can hear you.
I think you guys
Barako, Council of Chiefs, Elders. Other chiefs like the member of the Hajj, municipal leader. Indicate that follow this program, and this program is not for some time now. But brothers, gather to this program in this way. But we important team and make up for both rather than all my take note of it, rather on somebody out of it. So the executive chairman of Ghana argued to put his power. I didn't so it won't better. Many people probably the key most address.
No. Who? Yes. The link. Send me. Send it to me.
Who is our performing Honorable Confident Lima Beko. Our very distinguished and eminent panel of resource persons. great leaders in various spheres and organs of our community leadership. The organizer and facilitator of this timely and historic summit, Mr. Lawrence Barako and his team. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you all. It is my singular honor and privilege to not only be delivering this keynote address at this historic event, but to also be the inestimable, natural, and paramount ruler of Barako Asian community in Bukana local government area, the seventh in line of the great royal dynasty. It is my belief that time and chance that makes the difference in the affairs of men. We use this summit today to reflect the difference in the Barako of yesterday and the Barako of tomorrow. To this end, may I, on behalf of myself and the good people of Barako community, profoundly appreciate my dear cousin, our proud and worthy son, Mr. Barako, a member of our community development committee, representing those in diaspora, for showing good example and putting this leadership summit together. Because, like John Maxwell stated truly, everything rises and falls on leadership. May I also use this medium to congratulate once again all those appointed into various categories and organs of leadership, and remind you all that history, purpose, and the process today on how well you will deliver on this trust reposed on you by the paramount ruler and the people of the community. I pray that prosperity will be kind to us all. I ascended the throne of my ancestors on the 19th day of December 2020, the very day our late paramount ruler, who was lower to the United States. May we please rise. To be a minute silent, and as always, pray for the cause of the soul of late Chief Honorable Dr. Barako Abraham. May his gentle soul continually rest in perfect.
Amen.
Today is therefore the first day of my 9th month on this road as leader of a people with a 46-year-old land party with one of our next door neighbors, Barako. The people whose leadership have worked and the community was being administered by banks who first administered petitions on the then woman leaders and people of Barako. The people whose enemies are more but fear of the rule, physically and spiritually. With a new environment, with our own now. Is predominantly first. And we now agricultural products got lost by the people. The people who needed the hands of God and blessings of our family to turn things around. Ongoing events after the dedication of this community group and vigorously carried out a monthly community has everyone in doubt that the hand of God and blessing of our problem is on Barako today. Barako has considered various elements of leadership from the council of chiefs, the elders and vice council, the community development committee, women leaders, the graduate school, special office committees, land priests, zonal chiefs, council men, Barako, and lots more. The zonal chiefs are the member. Barako as the elected chairman of the Ghana government area, who just supported the first ever town hall meeting on needs assessment with a commitment to deliver on his promise to his people. Barako today has her daughter, Lorraine Barako, as the state representative in Democrats in the U.S. state of Texas. Barako today has an ongoing federal government project, the hybrid water state. Barako today has the state of our amiable House of Assembly member, the 6 classroom block with offices, ICT, and library facilities completed by Honorable and awaiting commission. Barako has a roofed 6 classroom project by sons and daughters at home and abroad ongoing. Barako has reactivated its long abandoned solar water project. Barako is reactivating its long abandoned community health center. Barako just shortlisted and advertised among the few model primary schools in Rivers State for innovation by the UPE, Universal Basic Education Authority. Barako is in a peace process with many other communities. All these have been made possible because Barako is in God's hands. It is on these notes that I happily and most expectantly charge participants, resource persons, and organizers of this summit to effect a paradigm shift with the outcome of the summit and take Barako from the era of oral history, folklore, to one of documentation and strategic planning. As a digital community with a digital leadership, with short-term, medium-term, and long-term resolutions, which we, the leaders of today, and our children that will lead tomorrow, will execute and also remember possible. Let us in unity make Barako great again. Thank you, and God bless you all. Not only Barako, not only Japan, not only the state. Barako Sakuta! Barako Sakuta! Barako.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Now the next top one, Barako leadership and community development. Our president. I'm going to be taken by engineer this guy and son. Over to you.
Yeah, Mosga, before Kada, to short announcement. Most of your phones will be muted. So if you want to speak and you have your phone, unmute yourself and speak. And if you are not speaking, please mute your phone so that we will not have noise distraction. Thank you. Mosga, go ahead.
And your Zoom is on. Please can you put it on all of us are using this one. Over to Mosga. Leadership and community development, past and present.
You have to unmute yourself, Mosga. Unmute yourself, Mosga. Go to your mic. Go to the Zoom and mic and then unmute.
Zoom. You have unmuted me.
Yeah, you are.
I've unmuted myself now because some of the phones we need to know where the mute is and where to unmute and mute, where you have. Oda?
Yes,
It's
yes.
It's educative.
Good.
First, I'm going to combine both my native language and the borrowed language, which is English. Chairman Gokana local government in Proxy, from Mokwagetoy, the Highness Chief Kadilo Bainali Kabari, the chairman of the organizing committee and the whole of the organizing committee on behalf of with respect to Edatuma. All protocols observed. Now, let me permit me take it so. Okay. My American down driver was then topic of NEMI, Barako leadership and community development, past and present. Yes, I'm grateful to this, to be part of this occasion, because really, I am not too old to carry out this function, because we are normal that those who are elderly to me are in the community, who knows most of the history than me, but I put things together, being on the innovation, because it's a new thing, based on the new leadership, what can bring us forward. We'll go through this thing, introduction, a brief history of Barako Town, leadership, what leadership is all about, the styles and the qualities of it, community development skill, commission leadership roles, all to the present leadership, conclusion and way forward. I know we are behind schedule, but I'm going to be very brief. If I say anything that you don't like, take the one that is good for Barako to move forward and throw the other one away. Thank you. The brief history of Barako Town. Barako is one of the ancient 17 towns or communities in Gokana local government area of River State, which form part of Ogoni. You might be wondering why I put a flag. Anyway, I didn't get I've got the flag of Mosul, which is more of Ogoni, the 6 kingdoms. So Barako is one of these, is part of this kingdom. And initially, some people will tell you that 14 villages from Gokana. Yes, it was 14, and Barako was one of them. So this, in Barako is the second in command in terms of rulership at the Gokana traditional headquarters, which is Gyoko. I'm not talking of Paul now. If it's local government, the headquarters is Paul. But when I talk of Gokana traditional council, is Gyoko, and Barako is the second. Barako is Okuruga, they call it, or Bombina in Ogoni, as probably called. Made that a unique community in Gokana. That is why we are unique. The town is ruled by a primary ruler, and this seat is hereditary for the families of Chief Abat Kabari Tekam dynasty. The second in command is supported by what they call Labon, which is for the Chief Dubo dynasty. Other lieutenants would support those who are supporting the primary ruler, called Gap, and others from now, which has been modernized to maybe some council, the CDC, Community Development Council, youth, women, students, and the rest of us. These are the groups that support the community in their ruling. That will let me go on to what we call leadership. Leadership is defined as the ability of an individual. Sorry if I'm too fast. Leadership is defined as an ability of individual or a group of individuals to influence and guide followers or other members of the organization to achieving a common goal. The code here is influence. How do you bring your people, those who are following you, to say, this is the direction I'm going, and they will follow you. So that is the influence. And how do you direct them? They cannot just follow you like sheep. If number one sheep goes forward and falls into a well, the second one will follow, but goat will go back. So we shouldn't be like sheep. God will define it as the action of leading a group of people or organization. A genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, but a molder of consensus. That is what Martin Luther says. That is the activists. You know, we also have activists in the community. Styles of leadership. There are so many ways, so many styles used by most of our leaders. We have the autocratic, which is done in the military. They will always tell you, obey before complain.
Command.
Command, complain. Before you say anything, you have to obey first. There are people like that. We have democratic, where everybody is giving his or her voice. You tell us, and we listen to you, and maybe put into voting. We have pace setting. There are people who set the pace, that this is the way I want us to go, and we follow. This is an example. We started with an innovation. The whole of Gokana now, this is the first. Everybody is clapping for Barako. If after this, we can follow what we are going to get as our recommendation. Because we have never seen it anywhere. That today, we can stay here and talk to the whole world. All our children in the whole world are now listening and joining us. Some are also authoritative. They say, no, you must follow my advice. You must follow the direction I'm going. You must follow this or no way. If you don't follow my own, don't no fellowship. That is a different style. We have the affiliative. Those who can also say, let me join and see how it goes. We have the coaching and laissez-faire. That is a free hand for anybody to do anything you want to do. That was developed by a French speaker. You have some skill to get all these styles done. You must have some skill, which is developed. This skill is developed. You train yourself for it. Self-development. You can decide to say today, I want to be, the integrity in me should stand. That is when I say, this is what I'm doing. It should be, everybody should see that this thing is doing, I'm doing rightly. I'm not looking at back, whether it's my mother or my father or anybody. Integrity, that is self-development. You can do that. Team development, you can also build your team. And that's what we're trying to do now. Strategic thinking, you must be thinking ahead and acting accordingly. Innovation, we've already mentioned that. Ethical practice, which is at the center of leadership, then you must listen to followers. If you are a leader, you must listen to your followers. The material don't go here. Even Moses in the Bible did the same thing. Planning and implementation. Organizing and delegating, feedback, motivation. The most important is time management, because time is not on our side. So what you have, you may not stay forever. What you have to plan it. As soon as the time comes, God might call you to go on. So all these things can be done through practice of discipline, taking more learning responsibilities, learning to follow, developing situational awareness, inspiring others, and resolving conflicts, and keep learning. In doing that, you also exist some qualities as a good leader. What are those qualities? Communication. You should be able to tell the person next to you where you want to go. And two of you have to understand each other. You must have a vision on the direction of where you are going to. Empathy. You must put yourself into that person's shoe. Transparency, accountability, and the next word is just gratitude. That is like a feedback. You get what you are getting from people, and you must be happy, appreciate the one that is better for you. I now come back to community development. Lawrence, please, are you checking if there's any question, or I should finish before there will be question? I don't know. Okay, I'm seeing some distraction. Community as defined by Society of International Development of Israel. Development is the process of creating. Somebody is talking. Where are we?
So go ahead. Ignore the distractions.
Okay. Society of International Development of Israel define development as a process of creating or initiating positive changes, programs in economic, environmental, social, and demographic components. It's like you just give birth to a child. The child will start first, maybe you'll be lying there or him on the back. Later, you gradually on the side, you face him down, and gradually you now start sitting him down till he crawl. So that is the development, and that is what we're trying to do. Community leadership in this case is the courage, the creativity, the capacity to inspire participation and development. Examples, the local church leaders that we are having around today, community activists, social school officials, local business leaders, and all of us, we are potential leaders. So the community leader takes responsibility for the well-being and improvement of their community. So for you to say, I want to be a leader in this community, you must be ready to add value. I gave 3 questions, 3 takeaway questions that all of us who want to be leaders will take home. 1, are you interested or do you want to improve the community? You must have that in your mind first. If you're not ready, then you cannot be a leader. Do you have anything to contribute or add value to the community? Are you adding any value, or you just the same, let's leave it, let's go that way? Then, will you wait for someone to do the job, or you do it yourself? If your answers are yes, yes, no, then we are good to go. But if it's not that, well, I don't agree that we are ready to lead. And we have the roles of community leaders. Community leaders, 1, you have to mobilize and guide others, like I've said. You have to show an example. People will follow you when you are directing them well. When people are in trouble and you are trying to bring them out, you have to solve problem and work together with others in the community. Not saying you will carry the whole problem of the whole town, for instance, into your head and only you will fix it. It's not done. You learn to delegate and do work with others. Facilitate solutions and things brought about the long-term health of the community and its people. Not looking at something and say, I want it only today. Only today, yes, I'm going back to my language now. Then we are not going anywhere. And for you to have those qualities of these community leaders, I've mentioned it again, empathy. That is the empathy. Be ready to assist people. And most importantly is the influence. Influence is what takes you on. On this one, it brings about the integrity. If time permits, you won't be if because of all this, if time permits, I'll just give you a brief video by a Ghanaian policeman that it tells you what leadership is all about. And it's not what leadership is. It's all about influence. How do you influence people? Let's listen to that.
We'll come back from the short break. But I think it's time for us to just do a very simple summary. all we'll be talking about is on what? Leadership.
I hope you are hearing.
And I said, leadership is what? Influence. Simplicity. No less, no more. Leadership is influence. This is a fact, and everybody knows that. But sometimes we think it's about what. Today I am telling you it's not about what, it's about how. The what is the fact that we know leadership is influence, but the how is how do we influence people? How do we get people on board? How do we get people to align to the vision of the organization? How do you align people? How do you get your followers to believe so much in you and follow you? Leadership is what? Influence. And let me tell you the how. Basically, what we're doing today is how to influence what? People. How to influence your followers. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to influence people, the first value that you require as a leader is integrity. That is the I. Leadership is the I stands for what? Integrity. Doing what is right. Believing that nobody will even ever see. Doing what is right, irrespective of the force against you. You got to do what's right. That is integrity. Walking the talk. Simple and short. Learn how to nurture your followers. Empower the young ones who are with you. Because leadership is not a permanent position. One day you will be gone. But the people that you have empowered, when they take over the reins of the organization, you will sit at home and you begin to relax and watch how things are unfolding because they are demonstrating that they have been empowered enough. But if you get up for 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month, and everybody is crying, the organization is not moving forward, the country is not moving forward because you are not around, it means that you are a very good example of a bad leader. Please have faith in your followers. If you don't believe in me, I don't see why I should believe in you. Right? It's reciprocal. Have faith in me and I'll have faith in you. Please listen to your followers. You should have a listening ear. People want to be listened. They don't want to be merely heard. No. Please listen to your followers. Have an understanding now. Some leaders have a heart of stone. If you have a heart of stone and you are a leader, don't think anybody will ever want to die for you. Nobody will want to die for you. We are committed to dying for leaders who have an understanding heart. Be emotionally intelligent. What are we saying? Be sensitive to your environment. Be sensitive to the needs of the people who are following you. Can you wear their shoes? Can you feel the way they are feeling? If you are, then you'll be able to talk to them where it's right. And you'll be able to deal with their situations and probably help them through troubles when it is time. I love this. Who is able to navigate his followers through troubles. When I find myself in trouble and you are my leader, and you are able to help me out of that trouble very professionally, I will salute you forever. I will be so loyal to you forever. If you call me at 1 a.m., I'll be running. My phone will never, because I know that I owe you something, that you are deserving my respect, and I have that. I don't see how they can follow you. The last one, every must be exemplar. If you are a good leader, then you set an example for people to follow. Because you are ahead. You don't want to copy. So we copy from you the good and the bad. If you are integrity, let people. Right. If you have faith in people and you have faith in you, right.
Please mute yourself if you are moving.
Communication skills. About an exemplar.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
Okay, let me check it. If I can forget now.
What you have there is what?
Yeah. Oh, please.
Thank you.
Oh, please mute yourself. Mute yourself, Prof.
The flu effect.
Who are happening?
And you know what? In Ghana, we call it what? True can disable your whole system. I can create a true
Hello.
I'm sorry, the noise was too much, but if you listen to what the guy was saying, it's more or less explaining. Leadership ends with influence, and he has defined what influence is all about. The integrity, where they will trust yourself, like I mentioned earlier, the nurturing, growing up for people. You have faith, you must have faith in others so that you have faith in you. So if you take all these things together, then you can be a good leader, a good community leader. Like if you now say past and present leadership in Barako, yes, as I said earlier, I wouldn't know much of the history of Barako, but the little I was able to get is what I'm trying to present. By the time this is an inaugural one, by the time we continue, I think we'll get more detail about this. I was supposed to show a statistics of how each of these leaders were operating those days. They say that leaders are born and not made. It's true to some extent. Some people are born leaders in the midst of adversity, where there are crises. You see a leader that come out to lead people. Before now, when I grew up, I met Chief Abba Kabari Tekam, who was the primary ruler. He has the community leaders, which I call the CLDR, who are helping, who were supporting his administration. Akedibo, Dignity, India, the Cows, Young Pass, Royal Highness J.K. Birabi, Brobosi, Dekos, Dr. El Kabari, C.A. Domas Dubo, Chief S. Gawa, and Birabi, and Chief B. Kabari, primary ruler up to year 2020. I can tell you much of what these people did in those days. There are certain things that if they have a communal crash or any of these issues in the family, and these people are seeking to judge your matter, immediately you see one or two of them. If you see Akedibo, people are not satisfied that yes, they can look a good judgment for me. If you see people from the town family, baby, in those days, you will respect him because of Amaneko. Highness, Borosi, the Decos, Dr. El Kabari, yes, that is, he wasn't a chief then. When I grew up to stay with him as well, he wasn't a chief, but we have a small case. This issue that we're having with this our neighbor, maybe let me just give that. I was small then. He was having one bito called, I think the number was ROB 6,000. If they have any case in Bori, High Court, or
Yeah.
Oscar, your network.
this man carry all the chiefs I'm mentioning, that small bito, we carry like 8 of them. You will
It was a Toyota, not a Bito.
to the court, really they come and they will address the community. Again, that was helpful because everybody now, sorry, yeah? Somebody's trying to correct me.
It was a Toyota.
Toyota 6,000.
ROB 6,000.
6,000.
It was a Volkswagen Beetle 6 RB. Okay, well, I might be wrong, but I know it was a Beetle.
The Beetle was 716.
Okay, yeah. Because I know he will squeeze all this cheap. He will squeeze all this cheap in the Ram motor, but come to community today. Somebody that have 5 cars cannot release one to carry anybody to anything for anything. These are things we need to learn to lead the community well. That's what I'm trying to explain. We were all, and if you look at all of them, were transparent in what they are doing. Their watchword was transparency, no ego, high integrity, and accountable. Good communication skill. The president ruler today is His Highness, which is here now, His Royal Highness Cardinal B. Kabari. He is bringing his community leaders. And I want us, these community leaders, for this motivational that I brought out here, and some of the characters that have been imparted in this note. Conclusion and way forward. These are the motivational notes that I've seen that can help us. Martin Luther King said, our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matters. If you see important things that's happening to the community, say, it doesn't concern me, let them go. Your life begins to end that day because you are not denying the community. So we should have this one in our mind as a community leader. Don't teach anything that will help the community and keep quiet over it. advice. Whether they take or they don't take, give that advice. John Quincy Adams said, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader. Let you be an example. People start studying you. Say, this what is this guy is doing? It's good. Let me follow or let me do that. Steve Jobs, Apple co-founder, said innovation is the distinguishing between a leader and a follower, which I've given you an example now. What we are doing today is an innovation. It distinguishes between the leader and the follower, because we've never experienced this at all in Barako. We've never even experienced it in Gokana. And this is the first. Everybody was hailing us. Theodore M. Hesper said the very essence of leadership is that you must show the people the trumpet you draw before people can follow you. The very essence of leadership is that you have to have a vision. You can certain trumpets. So if you take this, I think Barako will move forward. Thank you for listening. Aina Kuma.
Aina Kuma. Mosga.
I clap for myself.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mosga. You can remove the share. You can unshare yourself. Remove the share. Stop sharing, and so that we can. Mosga, stop the sharing.
So if there's any question, I don't know the organizer. If there is a, we can go ahead with that now.
Mosga, stop sharing.
Yeah.
Go ahead and stop the sharing, Mosga. Remove the share. Okay, good.
Okay.
So that is what I was asking.
All right, Tuma is up. And
no clarification. If there's anything like that.
Tuma, you can come up and coordinate now. But now, Mosga has finished his presentation. So if anybody have a question, clarification, for just a few minutes, because we are behind. The next speaker is, I think, virtually ready. So Tuma, up to you. They should unmute you because we can't hear you. They should unmute you, Tuma.
Not yet.
Yes.
Okay. No.
Good.
Okay. Your mind, so you can answer you. Only people that are need your permission to ask.
Mike, I'm a gava Dramombo.
Congratulations, everybody. I listened to you. I was impressed.
Collecting money, for example.
But I was driving. I couldn't talk that time.
Registrar, chief executive.
Rob, you have to wait. Somebody's asking questions.
Okay, no problem.
Landa, question Nabina. Okay.
It's audible.
Coordinator, the question him now, I don't know whether you will compile or by somebody to explain it also.
And don't move. When you are speaking. Just one spot.
Chica.
Let me pick it and then I'll go like. Hello. Hello.
Oh,
Who is
yes,
it?
morning.
Hello.
Yeah.
Auntie, good day. Auntie, madam, good day.
Okay.
Hello.
You can't even hear.
Tuma, you have to translate the question. We didn't hear the question.
I'm not hearing them again. Okay.
Check whether is that
I think they have.
speaker's call is there.
They have audio problem.
I'm not here. Are you hearing me?
Tuma, I think I will suggest this we can't hear the questions.
They can send the question in the chat. They can send the question in the chat.
It's Antichika's call there.
It's not here.
Okay, please let's stop. Let's not be talking when they are speaking. If everyone is talking, we are not hearing. Please, let's wait until when we have to speak. Then Tuma. So when you talk, don't move, because when you move, the voice is not coming over very well. So stay at one place and say it and be loud. We didn't get most of the things that were said.
Me, I didn't get. I wanted to.
Okay, let me take it again. The last speaker, or sorry, the participant asked to know those things, those countries that make a good leader. Was that those traits and they didn't get it?
Edatuma, who asked the question?
It's okay. It's okay. Well, the Mosga can try to answer, but if they cannot get through, we have the recording of the teaching, and we are going to produce a paper for people to look at the things that have been said.
Okay.
If I get him well, I think he's asking about the qualities of a good leader. Is that the question?
Yes.
Yeah, if that is the question, I gave 3 examples. I said 1, empathy. You must put yourself into the other person's shoe. If this shoe is paining him, put yourself if that shoe will pain you, if you can bear it. Apart from being, excuse me. Secondly, you must be able to solve people's problems, your followers, when they are in issue, you have challenges, you should be able to solve it. Most importantly is influence. How do you bring them on? Then I now play the video that tell you the full meaning of influence, where the integrity you need to have, all those things are there. The I is the integrity, N is the nurture. You groom up the person that is following you. F is the faith. You need to have faith in that person that is following you, so that they also have faith in you. If I'm doing this and you are doing, I'm telling you go here and I'm going the other way, faith in me. Now you cannot even trust me. The other one again, I said listening. That's the L. You must have a listening ear. If the person is crying, please, so my leg is paining me in my leg. You should be able to find out why is that your leg paining you. Listen to him. Second is the OU, which is understanding. You have to understand where the person is going and what he's saying. The other E I give you again is the empathy or emotional intelligence, as the man in the video called it. The N again is navigation. That is when somebody is having a problem. How do you solve it? The communication. How do I discuss this thing with you and you understand? Then example. Be an exemplary leader. So that are just the qualities you need to get to be a good leader.
So we are going to take a second talk by Dr. Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, we are taking the second talk on the second lecture for this evening. The title is Time Conversion and Human Capital Development. Sorry, Human Capacity Development. It's those our brother, our friend, Dr. David C. Okede is going to take us in time conversion and human capacity development. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, and good evening from Ukraine. Can you hear me very well, please?
Yes.
Okay, good. Thank you. So once again, my name is Clement, and I reside in Ukraine. I'm a medical doctor. And I want to appreciate every one of you for having me in this program, especially to the organizers of the program and to the chief of the community. Thank you so much for having me. This is not a right, it is a privilege to be here. So today, I will be speaking on the topic that is titled Time Conversion and Human Capacity Development. Time Conversion and Human Capacity Development. Now, why is this topic important? It is so important because the greatest asset that any nation or any community has is the people of that community or that nation. I would repeat, the greatest asset that any community or any nation has is the people that make up that community. And that is why we need to talk about human capacity development. It doesn't matter what natural resources a community has or a nation has. If the people of that nation or that community are not developed in their mind, if they are not developed in their skills, such a nation or community would be a poor community, and that community would be a backward community, and that community would depend on other communities that do not even have as much natural resources as they have. So the greatest asset that any nation has, I repeat, are the people of that nation or that community. So what is capacity development? Or what is human capacity development? Human capacity development, or what we call capacity building, is defined as the process of developing and strengthening the skills, the instincts, the abilities and the potential, and then the processes and resources that organizations and communities need to survive, adapt, and thrive in a fast changing world. Now, I want you to pay attention to this definition of capacity building, because everything we will discuss today will be based on this definition. So from this definition, we see that capacity building is simply the process of developing and strengthening the skills of the citizens of a community or of a nation. Capacity building is strengthening or improving the instincts and the potential and ability of the citizens of any nation or any community. A few years ago, Bill Gates visited Nigeria and he gave a speech. And in that speech, he said something. He said that Nigeria as a nation has not done very well when it comes to developing human capital. When it comes to building people and developing people, we have not done very well. And he said that until we pay more attention to human capital development than infrastructural development, we are not yet ready to become a great nation. And the same thing I would say today. Until a community pays attention or lays importance on the human capital development, or until a community emphasizes human development more than infrastructural development, that community is not yet ready to become a great and a successful community. Now, why did I say that? I'm saying that because if you have infrastructures, which of course are very important, we need those infrastructures in our communities. We need the natural resources in our communities. But if we don't develop the people, the indigents and the citizens of that community, all those infrastructures are useless. All the natural resources are useless. And I'll tell you why I said so. If you look at our country today, you would realize that when we want to construct railways, for example, we need to depend on Chinese people to come to our country to construct railways for us. When we want to, distill our petroleum products, we want to refine our, crude oil, we send those crude oil to other countries, to the United States, and to some other country to refine our natural resources for us. Why are we doing that? The reason is simply because we have not built capacity in our citizens. We have not built, our intellect and our skills. We have not developed ourselves enough to be able to refine our own products by ourselves. So we are at the mercy of Americans, we are at the mercy of the Chinese people to do what we should have done for ourselves. What does that mean? It means that if Barako community is going to become a successful community, an economically prosperous community, a community that other communities would look at and envy and want to be like, we must pay attention to the human capital. We must pay attention to the people, to the sons and daughters of Barako community. So that means that as a leadership, we must, above everything else, focus on building the people. We must focus on educating the people, because humans are the greatest resources in the world. If you have crude oil, your crude oil will not refine itself. It's people that will refine it. If you have gold, your gold will not refine itself. It is people that will refine it. Anything you want to do, you need people. And so people are the greatest assets that you have. And that is why this topic is important. Building human capacity. And for us to build human capacity, we need to develop the strengths and the skills of our people. We need to educate our people. We need to organize programs that will make our people more knowledgeable, more intelligent, and more skillful. So the question is, to build human capacity, you see from the side.
Go by the kitchen, so if you are not speaking, please mute your phone. Your noise is distracting. You can mute and do things in your house, please. Doctor, sorry.
Okay, I hope everybody can hear me very well.
Yes.
So, thank you. So from this picture, you would see people, you would see skills, and you would see roles. Now, I already said that the greatest of all assets, of all resources, are the people. Now, these people must be educated. They must be taught how to develop skills. And when they have these skills, then they can play a role in the community in developing and building that community. So our goal is to train our sons and daughters and the citizens and the indigenes of our community to have skills in every sphere of life. That means we need to educate our people to have skills in medicine, skills in engineering, skills in information technology, skills in accounting, and in all spheres of life. So that when our nation is looking for the best doctor in Nigeria, they could say, go to Barako community, you will find the best doctors there. When we have built our people, their capacity, they will become so good that when we are looking for the best engineers in the country, they will say, go to Barako community, you will find the best engineers there. Or we are looking for the best accountants, go to Barako community, you will find them there. So when we build human capacity, inventions and innovations will proceed from our community. And that is the goal of leadership. As a leader, your goal is to raise other people. And thank God for this program. This is the first step already, to raise people. And what we are doing right now is human capacity development. That's what we're doing now. Only that we need to continue to do things like this because this is all it takes to build human capacity, to educate people, to teach them, to take their potentials and grow it and expand it. So, take the little thing that they know and expand it and build capacity in them. So people, when they develop skills, they now become, good enough to play roles, different roles in the community that will now build that community and make that community the envy of other communities. Now, Linda Fisher said, at its best, leadership development is not an event. It's a capacity building endeavor. So leadership development is not an event. It is a capacity building endeavor. It's a process of human growth and development. So our goal is to make sure that every citizen of Barako community grows and develops, not just physically, but intellectually. In every sphere of life, people are building capacity. Now, from this slide, you would see what make up human capital development or human capacity development. What does it entail? It entails coaching. It entails teaching. It entails training like we are doing right now. And the goal of coaching, teaching, and training is to increase the intellectual capacity of the people, is to increase the skills of the people, is to increase the know-how of the people, so that when we look at our community, we would find that everybody in the community has one skill or the other, and not just an ordinary skill, but a professional skill. And I want to say this. When the people of a community are able to develop themselves and build capacity, they have the solution to all the problems that is in that community. I'm going to repeat that again. When the people of a community build themselves, acquire knowledge and skills and intellect, there will be no problem in that community that cannot be solved. Why? Because the people that will solve the problems have already gotten the capacity to do so. But when we fail to invest in the people, when we fail to build the people, to build capacity in the people, we would never be able to solve the problems that face us or that face our community. So the goal of human capital development is to raise people who are problem solvers, is to raise people who are solution providers. So we say we want to build the largest airport in Nigeria, in Barako community. We don't need to go and look for Chinese people to do it for us. Sons and daughters of Barako community will do it by themselves. Why? Because they have been taught how to do it. They have groomed themselves. They have gotten the knowledge and the capacity to do so. So you don't need anybody to help you. So this is a very important point. I will say it for the third time. When you build capacity in people, you don't need any help from anywhere. Those people will solve the problems that are facing the community. So human capital development involves coaching, teaching, training, skill acquisition, experience, learning, and development. So as I'm talking right now, the leadership of the community perhaps will be thinking, how can we get our people to develop skills? How can we get our people to get knowledge in different fields of life? Yes, maybe there is no vocational school or technical school in Barako community. As I'm talking right now, the leadership is thinking maybe we need to build, a technical university in Barako community so that our sons and daughters will gain capacity in the technical aspect. Or maybe we need to build a medical university in Barako community. No, so the idea is to develop people and build them, give them capacity. Maybe the next inventors that will shake the world would come from Barako community if we give them the right training and the right coaching. So the goal, what I'm saying is that above everything else, we must learn to invest in the people, because the people make up the community. And when the people have been invested in, they now develop the capacity to, create solutions, to start up their own industries, to start up their own schools and universities, to start up their own workshop and their own laboratory when they have been built and when they have been developed. And now this human capital development is not only the responsibility of the leadership, but it is the responsibility of every son and daughter of the community to look for ways to develop themselves. Although the bulk of the responsibility is on leadership, but as individuals, you must look for ways to develop yourself. Look for teachings, coaching, conferences, attend, read books, add value to yourself. on a daily basis. When you do that, you become a sought after personality. People will begin to look for you. Why? Because you have developed yourself. Your mind is developed. You have solution to the problems, of the community. Good. Now, in this next slide, you would see that we have capacity, development, deployment, and know-how. So capacity, how do you build capacity? I already said the level of formal education of younger and older generations as a result of past education investments. So what does that mean? If we must build capacity in our people, we must invest in their education. You might not build schools, for example, in Barako community, but you can send some of your sons and daughters to go to better countries to gain knowledge and come back to Barako community and invest that knowledge in Barako community. To put some of them on scholarship to go abroad and learn the best, IT skills, the best medical skills, the best engineering skills. What have you done? You have invested in their education. I want to invest in their education. By the time they are coming back to Barako community, they are bringing the knowledge that they have gotten abroad to develop the community. Imagine, for example, that we have 100 sons and daughters or 200 sons and daughters, from Barako community being sent to the United States or to the UK to go and study medicine. When they come back, just imagine what they would do in Barako community. They will come together, form an association, and build the best hospital in Nigeria in Barako community. Why? Because you have built capacity in them. So human capital development involves capacity building, and the most important way to build capacity in people is to educate them. Either you build schools for them. If you cannot build schools, you sponsor them somewhere where they can go and get the knowledge and bring that knowledge back to solve the problems that exist in Barako community. Then again, you will see development, formal education of the next generation, the workforce, and the continued upskilling and reskilling of the current workforce. So to develop people, they already have some skills. You only need to upskill that skill. They need to improve on that skill by attending workshops and trainings, schools, just to improve them. And you are preparing them for the next generation. We know that the future of the world is information technology. So if we want to build people and add capacity to them, we should be looking at investing in information technology for the Barako community citizens. We should be taking the young people in primary school and secondary school and be thinking of how we can teach them information technology. If you can do that in Barako community, I bet you in the next 5-10 years, Barako community will become information technology hub of Nigeria. Everybody will be coming to Barako community to learn about information technology. Why? Because capacity has been built in them. So when you build capacity in them, they go all the way to bring development to that community. Deployment, skills application and accumulation among the adult population. Now, in capacity building, you are not only focusing on the younger generation. Of course, we know they are the leaders of tomorrow. But what about the adults who did not have the opportunity to have an education? Maybe for one reason or the other, they couldn't go to school, but now they are adults and they are struggling to survive, or some of them cannot even read and write. To build capacity in them, you can, start up an adult education center in Barako community. Let every person in Barako community who cannot read and write attend such, the evening school for the adult people. You could teach the women, those that don't know how to sew, tailoring. You could teach, people computer, anything at all that you can use to add value to the citizens and the indigenous of Barako community would be counted as human capital development. And when that happens, people will no longer be dependent on the leadership or on the government for anything. Why? Because they now have the skills that are needed to generate income for themselves. And one of the reasons why we have a high unemployment rate in our country is because our government has not done so much in investing in the people. When you don't invest in the people, they would go to school. Some of them will go to school. They will have certificates, but they don't have skills. And when you don't have skills, nobody wants to employ you. So that is why human capital development involves bringing skills and teaching the people new skills that they didn't have before. And such skills can be converted to economic advantage. When everybody in the Barako community have one skill, one handwork that they are doing, that is bringing them finances, poverty problem has been solved already. You don't need anybody to give you money because you have developed yourself, you have the skill. So what you do is that you give your skills in exchange for money. But when people are not developed, they will be depending on other people to give them some, urgent 2,000 naira, and all of that. But when you develop people, they are able to exchange their skills for economic advantage. And what that means is that development is coming to Barako community. The people now have capacity. They can invent anything they want to invent. They can build their own hospitals and their own roads by themselves without bringing people from abroad to do it for them. But all this is possible thanks to human capacity development. So the whole idea is to raise people from the level they are now to a higher level of intelligence, to a higher level of know-how, and to develop new skills that can help them, not only solve their personal problems, but to solve community problems. Now, but for you to be able to actually build capacity, you need one of the greatest resources that is called time. Remember that this topic is time conversion and human capacity development. Everything I have just said about building capacity cannot happen if people do not understand what time is. I'm going to repeat that. Everything I have said, the coaching, the training, the capacity building, all of that will not be possible if people don't understand time. But you will say, what is time? We understand time. Okay, let's see if you understand time. The greatest resource after human resource, the greatest resource after human resource is the resource of time. Time is the greatest resource that we have as human beings. And why did I say time is the greatest resource? It is because everything that exists, everything else that you see, comes out of time. So time is the resource from which everything is produced. I have a phone here. You see this phone here? This phone was produced because of time. Without time, this phone would not have been produced. What do I mean by that? I mean that the people who produced this phone, they took time to study how to make the phone. The people who made this phone took time to actually make the phone. The process of making the phone took time also. The jacket I'm wearing, somebody took time to learn how to make it. The computer you are using, somebody took time to learn, to study, maybe 4 years at the university or 6 years at the university, just to learn how to produce the computer. So when you go to the university and you spend 4 years or 5 years or 6 years, what you are doing is that you are investing time to learn how to produce something. If I have two people, one of them went to the university and spent 4 years learning how to produce computers, while the other person is at home watching Man U and Chelsea match every day for 4 years without going to school. After 4 years, one of them has become an inventor or a producer of computer. How? Because he invested 4 years of his time to learn how to do it. So it means that this person has built capacity. How did he build capacity? By understanding what time is and investing that time. But it is unfortunate that a lot of people, even though they wear wristwatch and they have a wall clock, they do not know the importance of time. And my goal today is to make everybody listening to me today to understand how important time is. Because when you understand what time is, you now know how to use that time judiciously to build capacity. There will be no capacity development in people if they don't understand time. Now, what is time? And why is this time important? Before I give you the definition of time, I want to say that if a nation or a community has all the natural resources in the world and yet fails to understand the importance of time, that nation will remain a backward nation, an economically recessed nation, a poverty-stricken nation or community, just because they don't understand time. They have all the natural resources. They have gold, they have crude oil, they have aluminum, they have everything. But if they don't understand time, they will live as if they don't have anything at all. Even nations that don't have any natural resources will be more developed than such a nation that doesn't understand the value of time. Why am I saying that? Because I said that everything you see existing today comes out of time. The reason why we would go and bring Chinese people to construct our railways for us is because the Chinese have invested time to learn how to construct railways. But we have not invested time to learn how to do it. So what do? We need to depend on the people who have invested time to learn how to do it for us. We have crude oil, but we cannot refine it. Why? Because we have not invested time to learn how to do it. Or we have not invested time to build the infrastructure that is needed to do it. And so what do? We need to depend on America because they have invested time to learn how to do it. So every citizen of Barako community must understand the importance of time. Time is so important that when you fail to understand the value of time, you will end up wasting that time. So what is time? Time is the indefinite continued progress of existence and events in the past, present, and future regarded as a whole. Now pay attention to this. Indefinite continued progress. So what does that mean? It means that time progresses indefinitely. Time does not regress. Time doesn't go backward. Time keeps progressing. And if time keeps progressing, it means that you and I do not have the ability to stop time from progressing. But I just told you that time is the greatest resources that we have. So if time is the greatest resources and time is passing by, time is moving indefinitely, what do we do to this time to make sure that we use this time productively? Now look at this. Look at this picture. This picture, this was a drawing, a painting that was done by a Spanish artist called Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali drew this, and this is called the melting clocks. If you look at this clock, you will see that they are melting. What does that tell you? That tells you that time melts away. It means that time is not rigid. Time is not standing still. Time is melting away. Time is passing by. Now, if time is passing by, what should I do with the time so that I can get value out of that time? Now, that is what I want to tell you about today in the next few minutes. Now, if you look at this, Benjamin Franklin said something. He said, "Dost thou love life? Then do not squander time, for this is the stuff that life is made of." If you love life, don't squander time. Why? Because life is made up of time. What does that mean? It means that time is as important as life itself. I want to repeat that. Time is as important as life itself. Without time, there is no life. Time is equal to life in importance. So it means that if you are protecting your life, you are guarding your life, you must also guard your time and protect your time also. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you should never allow your time to get wasted. Just the way you guard your life, you must guard your time like that, because human capital development is only possible when we use time judiciously, when we use time to educate people, when we use time to teach people skills, when we use time to learn technological know-how, then we have human capital development. So that means that time is one of the greatest resources. Unfortunately, time is not rigid. And because time is not rigid, the only thing I need to do is to make sure that I do something with that time before it passes by. Time will always pass by, but you must do something with it, otherwise it is gone. And once that time is gone, you cannot get it back. If we give birth to a new community today, community A and community B, and community A uses the first 5 years of its existence to invest time and to build capacity in the people, invest 5 years of time to build capacity in the people, and community B did nothing with time. Community B just allowed time to pass by. After 5 years, when you enter community A and community B, the difference will be so clear. Why? Because community A has used time, 5 years, to build capacity, while community B did nothing with time. Community B allowed that 5 years to just waste like that. And I think that with what we have started doing, if we focus on investing time and using time judiciously in Barako community, if we make every citizen of Barako community to understand the importance of time, and they use that time judiciously to build capacity, it will not be long. In the next 5 years, the difference between Barako community and the other communities will be so clear. It will be like black and white. Why? Because when you understand the value of time, you are able to take that time and use it to produce something. So from this picture, you see that this guy is trying to hold the time, to stop the time from moving. But I said that you cannot stop time from moving. You can hold it. Time progresses indefinitely. So what should you do if time progresses indefinitely? That is the question that we need to answer. So the first thing you must know about time is that time must be converted into products. If you have not been paying attention before, I want to plead with you to pay attention to this one. The first and the general principle of time is that time must be converted into products. I have said that time passes by. You can't hold it, but you can convert it. You cannot hold it, but you can convert it. So how do you convert it? You convert time into products by using that time, that passing 1 hour, or that passing 2 hours, or that passing 3 hours, or that passing 5 months. You use that time to build capacity. You use it to learn new skills. You use it to study, to research. What you have done is that at the end of the day, you have converted that time into product. What is the product? At the end of your research, or at the end of your study, or at the end of your skill acquisition program, you would have gotten a product, which is the new knowledge that you have, the new skill that you have now. How did you do it? Because you converted that 5 years into a product, which is increased knowledge, increased know-how, skill. That is now the product of your time. So time must be converted into products. So I want to ask you quickly, what do you do with your time? how have you been using your time as an individual and as a community? There are three things that people do with time. They waste it, some spend it, and some invest it. But if you want to build capacity in people, or you want to build capacity in yourself, you must learn never to waste time. You must learn not to spend time only, but you must learn to invest time. So three things people do: they waste time, they spend time, they invest time. Any time that passes by and you didn't learn anything, you did not build any capacity, you just allow 1 hour pass by, or 30 minutes pass by like this. What you have done, you have wasted that time. So time is wasted when it is not used to add capacity, or to add knowledge, or to learn something new, or to study something. That time is a wasted time. So if I just sit outside and I'm counting the number of cars that are passing in front of my house, and I sit there for 1 hour or 2 hours, at the end of 2 hours, I would have not added any value to my life. I would have only just counted cars and seen how beautiful the cars are, but I've not added any value. But if I take that 2 hours and I go to the laboratory and I begin to do research, or begin to conduct an experiment, or I go to the library and I begin to study, to read about how to cure a certain disease, or about how to invent, something in my community, what I have done, I have invested time. But people do not understand that they are wasting time when they just sit idle and they are doing nothing with time. Or some people are just watching some comedy and are just laughing with their time. But there is no product, there is nothing tangible, no capacity is added, no new knowledge, no new skill. That time is gone. It's a wasted time. So when you waste your time, you get nothing. You get no product from it. You will just realize that you are just growing old, but you have not learned anything new. So that is why you must not waste time. So my message to you today is, if you want to build capacity, you must stop wasting time. Instead of wasting your time on things that add no value to you, use that time to do something that is productive. Use that time to build capacity in yourself, because you cannot build capacity in people if they keep wasting time. So you must make sure that you do not waste your time. Now, Charles Darwin said, a man who dares to waste 1 hour of time, just 1 hour of time, has not discovered the value of life. If you waste 1 hour of time, you have not discovered the value of life. It means that when you just sit down and you are watching maybe African Magic and you're just laughing, you're just enjoying yourself, but you have not learned anything new. If you didn't learn anything from that movie, that time is gone. It's a wasted time. If you didn't learn anything from, anything you do, you did not add any value to yourself, that time is a wasted time. And a man who dares to waste 1 hour, if you waste just 1 hour of time, Charles Darwin said, I should tell you that you have not discovered the value of life. Because life, as I said, is as important as time. So do not waste your time on things that are of no value. If every young person, every adult in Barako community can understand that to waste 1 hour of time is a crime, it is a sin to waste 1 hour of time, according to Charles Darwin, then we will now look at how can I take this 1 hour? What can I do with it? Maybe instead of just watching this comedy, I can use this 1 hour to read a book. I can solve mathematics. I can read my science textbook. I can read my medical textbook. I can go to the library. I can go to the laboratory. I can study. So that 1 hour is so important that when you keep adding 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, you keep wasting 1 hour, wasting 1 hour, wasting 1 hour, you will find out that by the time you get to 70 years, 80 years, you have wasted your entire life and you have not achieved anything. You have not produced anything. You have not invented anything. You didn't build capacity. So for you to build capacity, you must stop wasting time, because time is the greatest resources that we have. And everybody has it equally. Whether you are Black, you are white, you are in Africa, you are in Asia, anywhere you are, we all have 24 hours of time. And God was gracious enough to have given all of us equal time, 24 hours. So what you do with your 24 hours will determine whether you build capacity or not. If you play with your 24 hours, you waste it, you will never grow, you will never learn anything. And once you don't learn anything, you become a liability in the future. You'll be depending on other people to help you, to give you some money and all of that. But when you build capacity in yourself, you use your time judiciously to invest in yourself, you become a knowledgeable person, you become a sought-after personality, and you become a solution provider. What will you get when you waste your time? 9 things you will get when you waste your time. 1, when you waste your time, you get vanity, nothing, emptiness. That is what you get when you waste your time. So when you waste your time, you have no product to show for it. It is emptiness, it is vanity that you get when you waste your time. Number 2, when you waste your time, you don't have any products. You don't have any invention. How can you invent something when you have not invested time to learn how to invent something? No, you cannot invent anything. And that is the reason why, if you look at our country, we hardly produce anything. We hardly invent anything. We are buying everything from China. Why? Because we have not invested our time to learn how to produce, to learn how to invent things. We would rather just be watching Big Brother Ninja, or just be watching Man U and Chelsea or African Magic. We don't produce anything because we don't know how to use time to build capacity. Number 3, if you fail to use your time judiciously, if you waste your time, the third reward that you will get is that there will be no impact on the society. Your community will become underdeveloped because you have not built capacity. Are you saying something? I can't hear you.
Sorry, I moved myself. Please, can we pause for 1 second and take a break? Because
sure.
Their data went out and they are trying to reload.
Sure.
Yes. So just give me 1 second. Let me see.
Okay.
I hope they will have let me know.
Can I use this time to ask question, please?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to say that thank you very much for this, for delivering such a powerful and educational speech. It is quite relevant for this progression of Barako community. And I appreciate your lesson.
Thank you.
My question is, how can community organizations partner together to create human capital development incentives? Or should human capital development begin only in families?
Okay, good, beautiful question. So when I was speaking earlier,
so that, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, good. When I was speaking earlier, I said that human capital development is in two ways. One, the responsibility is on leadership. So the leadership of the community can come together and partner to build capacity in their indigence. And on a personal level, that is at the family level now, parents have a responsibility to make sure that their children get the right training and the right coaching and the right education, right from primary school level down to university. So the onus is on the parents to do that at the family level. But as a community, because I understand that all families might not have equal means, because all fingers are not equal. And because all fingers are not equal, some families might not be able to build capacity in their children because maybe they don't have the resources to do that. And that is where the community, the leadership of the community now has to come together and partner with probably other communities or other associations to put up programs just like this program now, to set up workshops. You know, you could just invite somebody, for example, to Barako community, the leadership, I mean. The leadership can bring somebody to Barako community. You could just buy maybe 10 or 20 computers. If you have a town hall in your community, just buy 20 computers there. Invite somebody who is an IT specialist to come to Barako community and give a 1 month training every weekend, every Saturday and Sunday. They go to that place. The youth of the community, they put them in batches. Since we have only 20 computers, let them come and learn from that specialist, IT specialist who is teaching them. But this is at the community level. The leadership of the community can do something like that. So when the first batch finish learning, another batch comes, you know. So when you do that, every Saturday or maybe every Sunday evening, you would realize that at the community level, you are building capacity in the people. So even parents or families that don't have the means, enough money to build capacity in their children, will now benefit from the one that the community, the leadership of the community is organizing for that community. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, well said. Well said. In fact, this is a great professional development. So I think I believe in your speech, because if we start training and building skills and capacity in our people, we are not going to buy others from outside.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. If any other person has a question, maybe we can take it now. Yeah.
Yeah, if you are mute and you want to ask question, just unmute yourself and then ask. And then when you're done, you mute. Just press the mic button. The mic button is mute or unmute.
I want to also thank our doctor who just asked the last question. The speaker has actually enlightened us this evening. And I'm particularly impressed of the fact that if we must build capacity in the people, we must invest in their education. I think that's the sentence that underlines everything we are saying here. Capacity building appears to be starting from proper education to the people so that they can do what they do. I thank the speaker very much. And I thank our daughter for asking a very relevant question. Because I was also thinking about what is going to be is capacity building going to be something by individuals, or can be done by the community as a whole, or can be done by a group of people. And I've seen that while individuals will need to develop their capacity, the community will also need to develop the community capacity-wise. And also any group of people can come together to build capacity for the community. I thank everybody for very, very good listening and very good presentation and very good we are doing here, which is one in this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor.
Thank you, Uncle.
I have something to say.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay, go ahead.
How do I unmute myself?
Thank you, sister.
Go ahead, Comfort.
No, I want to say something.
I'm hearing you. Go ahead, we are hearing you.
I'm the happiest woman today to witness the first Barako meeting.
Yes.
And I want to say you have been blessed to bless others, and you have been trained to train. You train the trainer. When we very few of us were able to connect and listen to this powerful lecture. And I want to say that it's the first day, and subsequently it's wonderful to be better. But the most important thing is everybody should learn that we should train ourselves. Human capacity training, human development. It has been, it has been wonderful. I want to thank Dr. Clement on behalf of the women on Barako. Definitely, in the next 5 years, Barako will not be level after this training. I am happy, thank God, and I want to say like Samuel that my eyes my eyes have seen salvation. Samuel said that when the Lord Jesus was dedicated in his church. So I am happy. I suspended everything today to be part of this. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Dr. Clement, I guess you might have to continue since it's recorded. They will join us, or they will get the video.
Okay.
So please, if you are not talking, mute your phone.
Okay, good. So
was my phone muted?
Yeah, I will mute it, but anytime you want to talk, unmute yourself. I will mute it now. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for those questions. You know, it shows me that you are following the lecture. You know, it's one thing to teach, it's another thing for people to follow what you're saying. So the fact that you asked those questions will prove that you were following and that you understood what we have said so far. Now, I'm going to address one of the questions about if capital development is an individual thing or is it a community thing. And I have already said that the community has a role to play and the individual themselves have the role to play. For example, when it has to do with time conversion or time management, the community cannot come to your house to check if you are wasting time or if you are investing time. So that is your own responsibility, you know, to use your time judiciously to make sure that you don't waste it. Now we stopped at number 4. If you waste time, if any nation or any community waste time, what will happen to that community and that nation is economic recession and poverty. And the reasons are not far-fetched. When people are not investing time to learn skills, it means that they don't have the know-how to produce anything. There are no economic activities in such nation where people waste time. And because you are not producing anything, what will be the result is economic recession. So that is why when you saw that Nigeria had economic recession, about 2 or 3 recessions within 4 years or within 6 years, the reason is not far-fetched. It is because we are not a producing nation. We import almost everything that we use. And why? Because we did not invest our time to build capacity. And when you waste your time doing irrelevant things, at the end of the day, you have no economic advantage. You have no skills. And when you have no skills, there is nothing for which money can be exchanged. Because money comes to you when you deliver a service or you sell a product. But when you have not learned how to invest time to build products and to build skills, what happens is poverty and economic recession. And then again, number 5, you will have little or no net worth if you waste time. If you check the list of the richest people in the world, the likes of the Jeff Bezos and the Bill Gates and the Mark Zuckerbergs, if you check their net worth, it runs in billions. Why did they get those billions? Is it because money fell from heaven to them? No. Is it because God loved them so much and blessed them with money? No. Those guys, they have a high net worth because they did not waste their time. They understood how to invest time to learn and to invent products. And those products that they invented now make them billionaires. And so when you check their net worth, you see somebody, having more than 80 billion, 120 billion. Why? It is not magic. It is not miracle. It is because they invested their time. They did not waste it. But when you waste time, you have little or no net worth. Number 6, when the people of a nation or any community waste their time, one of the reward of wasting time would be increase in crime rates. Increase in crime rates. When people are not actively engaged in productive activities, when people are not using their time productively, at the end of the day, number one, they become poor, they become jobless, and when they are jobless and they are poor, the next thing is to go into crime. And that is why you can understand now why the crime rate in our country is that high, because we have not invested in human capacity. We have not built people. Anybody, just imagine, for example, if you build people, you build capacity in them, you teach them how to use their time to build capacity. What you will have, all your sons and daughters will be engineers, doctors, accountants, bankers. So imagine if all the people, all the young people in Barako community have understood the value of time, and all of them have built capacity in themselves. And now we have doctors, engineers everywhere. Everybody has some specialized skills. Who is going to become an armed robber? Nobody. Nobody, because they have built skills in themselves. They have skills that give them the money that they need. So why should they go into crime? There will be no need to go into crime. So when we invest in the people will become civilized, they'll become developed in their mind, and they have the economic power to take care of themselves. So there will be no need to go into crime. There will be no need for Yahoo, or there will be no need for armed robbery. No need for it. But when a community fails to teach the people how to use their time, and then the people eventually just waste time, what will happen is that there will be increase in crime rates, because these people have not developed themselves. And when they want to survive, the only way to survive is to go and steal or to do some evil things to survive. But when you build capacity in them, just imagine now that I'm a medical doctor. I cannot leave my hospital and go and do armed robbery. It's not possible. Why? Because I have built capacity in myself. If you are a professor, you cannot leave your school and go and commit crime. No. Why are you a professor? Because you have invested time to build capacity in yourself in a specific field. If you are an engineer, the same thing. So when people are actively engaged by the proper use of time and they build capacity in themselves, what happens is that crime rates will decrease. And again, number 7, if you don't understand the value of time, what will happen is that by the time you live 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, and you die from this world, nobody will remember you. You will have no legacy to keep for generations to come. Why? Because while you were alive, you did not produce anything, you did not invent anything, you did not, develop your community in any way, because you wasted your time. You have nothing to leave for generations to come. So you have no legacy. But when you use your time wisely, you will have products, you will have inventions, that will outlive you. Even when you die, your product will still be alive. That is why there is a popular preacher that was called Dr. Miles Monroe. Dr. Miles Monroe died a few years ago, but his books, his messages, his teaching, his training are still blessing people today, even though he's dead. Why? Because he invested his time to build capacity to be able to deliver a product to his world. So every native or every citizen of Barako community should be thinking, what legacy will I leave behind when I eventually leave this world? And the only way to have a lasting legacy for people to remember you forever when you are dead is when you are able to use your time judiciously to build yourself and build your community. Invent, produce, just do something that the world will remember when you are gone. And you can only do that when you don't waste your time, when you understand time and when you use your time judiciously. Number 8, unrealized goals. People set goals, but they don't achieve their goals. Why? Because they waste time. You say, okay, today I want to read this book. And then today comes and you say, let me just watch movie first. I will read the book later. And then tomorrow comes, and you say, let me just watch this movie or watch this football match. I will read the book later. At the end of the day, your goals will not be realized because you are wasting your time. So the only way to realize goals and to achieve your goals and to fulfill your goals is when you understand the value of time and you use it judiciously. Like I said before, unemployment will be a product of a time that is wasted. Now, people also spend time. Some people waste time. When you waste time, you don't get any product for your time. That time is gone, it's wasted, completely wasted. But when you spend time, you get a little compensation, a little product for your time. Maybe you could get some maybe salary, or you could get something little for your time. So when you spend time, you get something small. When you waste time, you don't get anything. That time is just gone. That time is wasted, completely wasted. But when you spend time, you get something. Maybe you go to work every day. At the end of the month, you get a salary. So you are spending time at work, and at the end of the month, they pay you salary. So why are they paying you salary? They are paying you salary for the time that you spend at the office or working for your boss. So when you go to work, that is spending time. You're spending time at work. At the end of the month, your boss now pays you. That is why in some countries, they pay per hour, $20 per hour, minimum wage, or $10 per hour minimum wage. So you see, $10 per hour. So when the time you spend working at the office, they pay you for it, right? So when you spend time, you get something, you get money, or maybe you get some certificates. Also, when you spend your time, maybe you go to school, at the end of school, you get a certificate. That is spending time. But there is something greater than spending time. Or before that, when you spend your time, the reward will be salary. You get salary, like I said. You have cars and houses when you spend time, because you get some salary. You can buy a house, you can buy a car. You go to school, you get certificates when you spend your time. But you might not really make any tangible impact in society. That is why you will see that there are a lot of people who went to school, who went to university, but they don't make any impact on the society. Why? Because while they were in school, they were just spending time. They were not investing time. All of us can graduate from the same university, but only one person will make an impact on a society based on what you learned from school. But the rest just spent time going to school every day and coming back. They did not really learn anything. So such kind of people, even though they have cars, they have salary, they have houses, but they don't have any tangible impact on their community. And most times they don't feel fulfilled, they don't feel satisfied. Why? Because they are even doing a kind of job that they don't like. So what are they doing? They have to go to work every day because they need salary. So they don't really like what they're doing, but they just go so that they can survive. So that is when you spend time, you don't really feel fulfilled, you don't feel satisfied, you don't have any real products, you just get old, and when you get old, you are retired. The company will retire you after using you for maybe 40 years or 30 years, they'll retire you, and that is all. You will have no legacy to leave behind when you spend time. Now, spending time is good. Wasting time is completely useless. Spending time is good, but there is something better than spending time. And that is what we call investing time. Waste time, spend time, invest time. Now, what is investing time? When you invest your time, you make sure that every minute, every hour of your life is converted into products. Every minute, every hour of your time is converted into some kind of product. You are making sure that you are using that 1 minute, that 1 hour, that 2 hours, you are using it judiciously. Then you are investing your time. Now, when you invest your time, you use that time to fulfill your purpose. Now, this is the difference. When you spend your time, you might not necessarily be fulfilling your purpose. You might just be going to school because everybody else is going to school. But when you invest your time, you are investing that time in your purpose. You know the reason why you were created. You know why you exist. You use your time to fulfill that reason, that purpose for which you were born. That is investment of time. So when you invest time, you use it to fulfill your purpose. You are doing what you were born to do. You are not doing what you are doing just because you need salary at the end of the month. No. So people who spend time, they work for salary. But people who invest time, they work for their purpose, for the reason why they were born. And they don't even, they are not so much concerned about the money that they will get a salary, because the goal is not the paper, it's not the money. The goal is to bring community development. The goal is to impact people in the world. Why? Because our life's purposes involve helping other people and, developing communities and making the world a better place. So when you invest your time, you are investing it in something that is the reason or the purpose for which you were born. So for example, imagine that you discovered that you were born to be, maybe you were discovered to be a medical doctor, or you were born to be a footballer. Yeah, you were born to be an international footballer. Now, if you spend 5 hours every day watching movies, or you spend 5 hours going to some meetings that are not related to the football that you were born to do, that is not investment of time in your purpose, because you have identified that your purpose is to be an international footballer. So what do? You make sure that you use your time, more of your time, for training. Go to the field and train, because that is the reason you were born. Or you were born to be a doctor. You will not spend more time at the field playing football when you should be in the medical university learning. So when you discover your purpose, invest more of your time on that thing, that reason why you were born. The reason is that no matter what you achieve in this life, if you don't fulfill your purpose, the reason why you were born, you have failed. If you don't fulfill the reason why you were born, you have failed. So it means that we must invest more in the reason or the purpose of our lives. And the question now is, how do I know my purpose? Maybe that will be a question for another conference some other time. But do everything to find out the reason why you were born, and make sure you give more of your time to do that thing, because that is the essence of your life. To invest your time, to add value to other people, to add value to yourself. So to invest time is to use it for human capital development. What we are doing now, we are investing time, we are learning, how to become better people. Reward of investing time. Number one, you have increased knowledge when you invest your time, because you have studied, you have worked hard. You get increased knowledge. You are now able to produce new products and inventions. So when you have invested your time, you don't need the Chinese people, you don't need Americans. You will do everything by yourself in your community there. You solve all the problems in your community because you have learned how to do it, because you have invested time to learn how to do it. And then when you invest your time, there will be societal and community development. That is why if Barako community will focus on investing time and building capacity in the people in the next 5 years, I believe that everybody would want to come to Barako community to ask the secrets of the development, the speed at which that community would develop. Everybody will want to know how you did it. Why? Because when you invest time to build capacity, naturally there will be societal and community development. And like I said before, when people have invested time to learn skills and to learn trade, what happens is that there will be economic growth and your GDP will increase also. So investing time, what does it do? It increases your earning potential. You are able to earn more when you have invested your time in learning skills. If I have two tailors, one of the tailors, every day he sews clothes for just 2 hours, only 2 hours. He sews clothes for 2 hours, and then he says he's tired, he has clothes for the day. And then you have another tailor who sews clothes for 8 hours every day. Which of them will be more skillful? After some years, the one who invested 8 hours sewing clothes every day will become more skillful. Now, when that guy becomes more skillful, the kind of suit or jacket he will make will be far better than the one that the other guy makes. And if that guy says, my suit is 50,000 naira, people will pay for it. Why? Because he has increased his potential to earn more. How did he do that? By investing more time, learning how to sew, learning tailoring, practicing tailoring. So the more time you invest, learning your skills and improving your skills, what you are doing is that you are increasing your earning potential. You not earn more than another person who had not invested in themselves to learn how to do it. And then number 6, there will be a decrease in crime rates when people invest in themselves and build capacity, because everybody will be gainfully employed and they will be engaged. When you invest your time, you create legacies. When you invest your time, you create legacies that will last. 1 minute, my kids are here now.
All right.
So when you invest your time, what happens is that you create legacy because you will be able to invent and produce products that will outlive you. That even when you are gone, everybody will still see your products and they would say, oh, it was this man that created this thing. So when you invest your time, you don't actually die. I want to repeat this. When you invest your time, you don't die, you live on. Why do you live on? Because even though your body disappears from this earth, you're gone, but people still have your product. They still see your product. You are still impacting people, even though you are gone. When I look at the electric bulb here, I see Thomas Edison. Even though Thomas Edison is long gone, but Thomas Edison is still impacting me today because I'm using the electric bulb. When Bill Gates dies tomorrow, Bill Gates will still be impacting me from his grave because I'm using his computer in Microsoft. You know, when Mark Zuckerberg dies tomorrow, he will still be impacting the world because his Facebook is still there. So when you invest time in yourself, you don't die, you live on. The reason why we can still be reading books, for example, about Plato and Aristotle and those guys, the reason why they still teach their knowledge in school today is because they invested in themselves and they created theories and principles that even after 100, 200 years, people are still learning the knowledge of those guys, even though they are dead many years ago. So when you invest in yourself, you live on, you don't die, because your product will speak. Even when you are gone, people will remember you, because when they hold your product, that is you they are holding. It means you don't die. So when you invest in yourself, use your time judiciously, what happens is that you create legacy and you live almost forever because people will continue to remember what you have done. And number 8, the only way to fulfill your goals and your dreams is to invest time. It is useless having dreams if you will not invest time to pursue those dreams and to fulfill them. If you have all the dreams in the world, those dreams will just remain dreams on paper. Those goals will just remain goals on paper. You will never achieve them if you do not invest your time to do what you need to do to bring those dreams and those goals to fruition, to bring them to materialization. So you only fulfill your goals when you invest your time. And like I said, there will be decreased unemployment rates when people learn to invest their time to build capacity, to learn new skills. There will be decreased unemployment rates, and everybody in Barako community will become an employer of labor. So instead of going to look for a job, you now become an employer because you have built capacity in yourself. You have invested in yourself that you don't need to go and be looking for a job somewhere. You will be the one even inviting people from neighboring community. You'll be hiring people from other communities to come and work for you. Why? Because you have invested your time to build something, to create your own company, to create your own product, to become so skillful that now you can even teach other people what you have learned over the years. So I think 1 minute. Okay, give me 1 minute. Yeah, so I think that now we have been able to see what it means to waste time, to spend time, and to invest time. And like I said, the only way for you to build capacity, is to invest time. The only way for you to build capacity is to invest time. If you don't invest time, you cannot build capacity. Can you still hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Charity, is your hand up? You have to unmute yourself.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, my hand is up anyway.
Okay, right.
I have a short, quick question, which I want to ask Dr. Clement to just. I want to ask you. Thank you so much, Dr. Clement. Another question I want to ask is, what can you say to our community about purpose fulfillment as parents and communities, as communities always want to choose their children's purpose or path in life.
Dr. Clement, I think Clement lost connection.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It will come back. It will come back. But Tuma, you can go ahead. I think.
I'll turn it to the chat. That's
okay.
Okay. Lawrence, thank you so much. But next time we want to know this program is supposed to be interactive. So someone is asking question outside here. We need to know the person. Maybe the person is in the he is or herself. So having said that, we're going to take the top topic by our very own Pastor Tuka Barako, and the topic is strategic partnership in community development.
okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. I will use the young people style, and I will say all protocols observed, so that we can go straight to the time. But my most regard to His Royal Highness, Chief Kadilo Kabari, and the leaders, and Honorable Chairman, I guess in absentia. My most regards goes to you and to everybody. You are welcome. This is interesting. I believe that we have started well, and we only need to watch and see how far we go from here. So my topic at the moment is strategic partnership in community development. You can see my title there is Mr. So you know, don't put your expectations so high. I'm gonna be, you know, speaking like a mister, not like a doctor or a professor or an engineer. All right. So we are looking at strategic partnership in community development. And that, what I mean by that is, how can we come together to build a community? Do we just come to the, hold on, just me 1 minute, Dr. Clancy is calling. Yeah, Dr. Clancy. Yes. Oh, yes, I think you lost connection. Oh, I hope you are finished, right? Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I could let you know later when we are finished, because they had allowed me to start. So your question, I could, yeah. All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Sorry about that. So we are looking at this time how we can put ourselves, position ourselves, how we can come together, what we can do to build our community. Sometimes I say 21st century community, to build a 21st century community, what we can do. So I want to bring a picture here. A picture here. First of all, before we get there, look at the picture here on the screen. You see that bush, that farmland? Yes, that's what we need to develop. I need to remove this thing. How do I remove this thing?
I'm not seeing.
Can you see the bush? Can you go and see?
No.
No, am I sharing it?
You're not.
I should be
Sure.
sharing. Okay, let me do it again. Okay, I'm gonna share it again. Hello? Can you hear me? Okay, I'm sharing it again. All right, can you see the picture?
Now we see.
Yes,
Okay.
we can see.
All right, so you see the bush here. Let's say this is our community. How can we build a community out of this? So let's think about that. Let's say somebody come up with a picture like this. Let's say this is Barako community. So, this is an idea. This is capacity. This is somebody that has capacity. Our last speaker was telling us about capacity, human development, and all that. So somebody who understood time and time conversion, somebody who has built capacity, has not wasted his time, has understood that his life was meant for a purpose, eventually come up with a city. So this is a new Barako community. So I want to ask some questions here. So I need everybody to look carefully at the picture above. Just look carefully, look at the picture, look carefully. So I'm going to remove that picture, and I'm going to ask you to please reproduce. Can you reproduce that city? Can someone reproduce that city? Can someone draw for us? Give us a picture that I just showed. Can someone paint it out? Can someone build it up for us? You will agree with me that that will only require partnership, strategic partnership, to come up with a city like this, to come up with the buildings like this, to come up with the organization like this. It will take people to be able to sit down, to think, to imagine, to bring together, to put things together, to have a city like this. But you understand, you know that this is one of the burden of a leader, a burden of a leader. So it will take a developed mind, as we are talking about human capacity, to be able to capture this city, this new Barako community. It will require, understanding. So we cannot be playing drafts all the time. Or, in a social gathering like Nsrere, I don't know, when we were back home, Nsrere, Mpio, and all those things were some of the social things that we used to do in the community that make us feel like we are in the community. So now, in these days, I don't know what you guys or the people back home are doing as a people that make them feel happy or how they spend their time. So we must be able to put ourselves in the position where we understand. So if Chief Kadilo Kabali is asking you, a section leader of the community, and point a section of this drawing and say, and ask you to go and produce and reproduce and create your own city, side of the community like this, then Dr. Chief Kabari is trying to take advantage of your understanding, your capacity, your intelligence. So it does require capacity to understand the layout of the city. It also requires vision. So, you know, as a leader, for us to understand how to partner with people, you must have something to partner with people with. You must have something that people can partner with you with. So if you have vision, it's a good place to start. If you have wisdom, Nimanu, it's another good place to start. You are able to think outside the box. Think not like every person is thinking. So when we are talking about strategic partnership, I want to go into some of the things that we should be looking at. So, you know, and in my presentation, I will more go towards a perspective that enlightens us about the kingdom. That enlightens us about the kingdom. That is, we knowing who we are, where we are, and our purpose. So if you know who you are, where you are, and your purpose, then you can, it's going to be easy for you to reach out to somebody to say, help me, or join me, or let's follow together. Reproducing this city requires us to be able to think outside the box and strategize. And we need all the help that we can do. So I said my focus is going to, I bring into my presentation the kingdom mindset. And when I talk about kingdom, I'm talking about a king and his domain. Like this city has a chief, this city has a president, or, you know, has people in charge. And the whole city is the area we are looking at. This is assuming the new Barako that we are looking at. So it has a king and it has a domain. So I believe that we are Christians. So I'm talking about kingdom, bringing kingdom mindset, because I want to bring our attention to who created us. We were created by God, and we are called by God, and we are believers, we are Christians, and we believe that Jesus is our king. So the king of this new Barako city is Jesus, then Kadilo, High Highness Kadilo Kabari, and other kings. So if Jesus is the king of this city, then somebody asked question, one question, and said, if Jesus is your king, then where is his domain? Where is his kingdom? And where is his government? If Jesus is your king, is the king of this city, then show me his kingdom. You will agree with me that the kingdom of Jesus as we know that it's like gold, everything well, everything going okay, everything in order. Everything is in order. So if Jesus is the king, then where is his domain? His area of influence, area of authority, which is Barako, that we belong to. So let me read a passage of the Bible. I have to, sorry, for those who don't, who are not on this part, who have a different view, it's okay for me to inject at this time the reading of the word of God, because we believe that God created the world. Look at, we are talking about from here to here, and we need all the help that we want. We need all the understanding that we need, all the capacity building, everything. But at the same time, we need to understand the foundation. So Genesis chapter 2, from verse 7 to 8 and 15 to 18 says, then the Lord God formed the man from the dust of the ground. Let me read from here. And he breathed the breath of life into the man's nostrils, and the man became a living person. Then the Lord planted a garden in Eden in the east, and there he placed the man he had made. The Lord God placed the man in the garden of Eden to tend and to watch it. Take note of that. This is a simple history that we know of the story in the story from the Bible, the story in the Bible, how God created you and I. He said God created Adam and God created Eden. So God created us and created Barako and put us in Barako. He said he put us in Barako to do what? To take care of it, to build it, to make it like this. Let's get this understanding. You are not in Barako by accident. You are not born in Barako, or Barako's name is not identified to you by accident. There is a purpose, there is a reason, there is a job, there is an assignment, there is something you can do and you have to do to make Barako like this new Barako city. Understand who you are, understand your roots. Then the Lord God planted a garden in Eden and the east, and there he placed the man he made. God created Barako and placed you. Let me jump to 15, verse 15 of Genesis 2. It said, the Lord God placed the man in the garden of Eden to tend and to watch over it. Do you understand that? So we are not just talking the seminar, this presentation, this summit. Maybe it's about to remind you something. This could be one of the things that you are reminded, that you were born in Barako. You were placed in Barako. The name of Barako is upon you. Why? Because God, you are God, has commanded you to do what? To watch, to take care, to build Barako like a new study city. But the Lord God warned him, you must freely eat of the fruit of every tree in the garden, except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. If you eat its fruit, you are sure to die. Then the Lord God said, it is not good for a man to be alone. I will make a help who is just right for him. So that story said, yes, God wants man. After God born, you were born in Barako. After you were placed in Barako, God commanded you to go and build Barako. God commanded you to go and invest in Barako. God commanded you to take care of Barako. Do you now understand? Are you imagining why you are a leader? Why Chief Kadilo appointed you into leadership? Do you think it's just by mistake? Or do you think just it's probably because he wants to make you important in the community? Or, he just wants you to come and so that you can have authority and oppress people? Or come and share money, since we all know that in leadership, money is always coming from the government or from the other side. So you can be party to the sharing of the money. What mindset do you have accepting the leadership mantle that is being placed on you? Do you have the mindset of the world or the mindset of the kingdom? That's why I'm bringing my perspective from the kingdom. The kingdom mindset is that, yes, Barako is a community that has a king. Jesus first is the king, then Kadilo Kabari, the king. And what mandate was given to everyone is to go and take care of that community, to build that community. And God said, I warned you. That is part of the story. It don't also say that. He said, I will give you a helper. So the sons of the community are helpers in the community that we can partner with strategically to build an enviable community. So the question I want to ask from here, who are you? Who am I? You need to first know that. Who are you? I'm a son of the kingdom. I'm a citizen. And I want to show you a video. It's Facebook that is trending of how the Greeks define the people that live in every community. The Greeks, the civilization starts from the Greeks, if I'm not mistaken. And the Greeks has seen and studied and know that there are three kinds of people in every community. Even in Barako, there are three kinds of people. And number one, he said they are the idiots. And number two, the tribal people. And number three are the citizens. So I want to play this movie. Let me stop my sharing, and I will share another movie video. Oh God. I will share another video because I want to play something to us.
By the supporters and founders of democracy in ancient Greece. It is said for the Greek people that there are people who in many ways gave us the modern civilized world. For the Greek people, the first kind of people in any given society are the idiots. For the Greeks, the idiot is not necessarily someone who is mentally deficient. Rather, for ancient Greek people, the idiot, they said, is someone who is a totally private person, a totally self-centered person, and a totally selfish person. They called him the idiot. The idiot, he is always out for his personal gain and his personal interests. He does not have a public philosophy. He has no knowledge, no skill, no character, and no virtues to be able to live and to be able to contribute in a flourishing society and community. He's all out for his personal pleasures and for his personal treasures. And the Greeks said that the idiot was just an upgraded barbarian, the first kind of person, the idiot. But the Greeks also said that there is a second kind of people in any given society. And the Greeks called these people the tribes people. When we say tribes people, we don't necessarily mean the fact of belonging to a certain tribe, which is a good thing. But when they use the word tribes people, the Greeks meant a tribal and a tribalistic mentality. And the Greeks said that tribes people are those people who are not able to think beyond their small tribe or their small groups. For tribes people, their primary allegiance, their only allegiance, and their ultimate allegiance is to their tribe. Their tribe is their God, and their religion is tribalism. And tribes people, the Greeks said, are always afraid of things that are different, that are a little alien to them. They are always suspicious and fearful. And they always dealt with different people and difficult situations with intimidation, with force, and with violence. And the Greeks also said that the ideal person for tribes people is the warrior, because tribes people are a war-making people. Their ideal is the warrior. But it was not so for the Greeks. For the Greeks, there was another kind of people, another kind of a person, and that was the ideal person. And the Greeks called this ideal person the citizen. The citizen. And here when we use the word citizen, we are not talking about legal status or political status. We're talking about the idea and the ideal of citizenship. And who is the citizen? The citizen, according to the Greeks, is someone who has the skills and the knowledge to live a public life, who is able to live a life of civility. The citizen recognizes that he or she is a member of a commonwealth and thus strives for the common good. That is the citizen. The citizen, yes, he or she knows his or her rights in a society, but he or she also knows his or her responsibilities to society. The citizen can fight for his rights, but always with an awareness of and with a respect for the rights and interests of others, of their neighbors, of the smallest of minorities, and of the worst of their enemies. And it is citizens, the Greeks said, that make up a civilized society, because citizens settle their differences with civility. So they produce a civilized society, a society that truly lives up to the name, to the meaning of the name society. Society literally means friendship and friendliness.
All right.
That is the threefold distinction that the Greeks have given us. That is the choice that each and every individual, wherever he or she may be, has to make in a society.
Well, I'm trying to get
and I believe that is the choice that starkly faces us Naga people today.
Sorry.
Will we be idiots living only for ourselves?
All right, sorry. Hello, sorry, I was trying to turn it off. So that presentation reminds us of the three kinds of people we have in our society. The idiot, those who are selfish, self-centered, and all about themselves. The tribal people, those who look only, their loyalty is to a particular person, a particular group, or their loyalty is limited. And the citizen. So with that, we have heard about the three types of people. I want to ask again, who are you? And who do you want to be as a leader to take us to the next community? The next question I want to ask is, what is your source? Every idea comes from somewhere. Every vision, every value, every thought, every passion comes from somewhere. So what is your source? Where is your source? That which you want to do, that which you want to implement, that which you have to share with people, what is your source? That also that is very important. And to fulfill purpose, especially in the eyes of God, then we have to think kingdom. We pray a prayer, which is the Lord's Prayer. He said, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Which means that we want to see how the kingdom of God, the environment of God, how God has ordained our community to be. We want to see. Right now, we are not seeing. It will take us, people who know themselves, people who their source is connected, especially to God, to be able to see the community, this kind of community, and to do something about it. So what is your source? Your idea that you want to bring upon Barako community as a leader, where is it coming from? Is it well informed, out of your capacity development, out of the fact that you have developed your mind, developed your brain, you are exposed yourself, so you can bring the good things that you have in store to build a new Barako city. Where is your source? What is your source? Right. So, and apart from that, then what is our mandate? So let's move on. This is a statement of fact. A leadership, as we are talking about strategic partnership in community development, leadership and government is for the people. When you are called to leadership, when you are appointed a leader, it's because you are being trusted to serve. You are being trusted to do your own bits. You are being trusted to bring to reality that vision that God has given you, to come and do that very thing that only you can do, to come and change the face of your community. So maybe you are a section leader, maybe you are a youth leader, you are whatever place that they have appointed you, or you are a potential leader. You must understand that leadership is about the people, is for the people. Ideally, leadership exists to serve the people, preserve and to protect the people, especially our community. So we must make sure that we are bringing to the table our vision, our goal, so that then we can partner. It's only then we can partner to build community. So these are some strategies that I want to also present. Some of the strategies that we can look at. And number one is community organizing. We must be able to look at how we can, as a leader, organize our area of influence. And I think that is what Chief Kadilo is doing. Kadilo is trying to organize the community in such a way that the community can run itself. People will know what they are supposed to do and do what they are supposed to do. But it is one thing for Kadilo to try to organize the community, but it's another thing for the people that he has entrusted leadership to understand their role in organizing the community. So when we want to consider organizing our community, we must take certain things into consideration. Member capacity of people. Dr. Clement spoke a lot on this, capacity building, the capacity of people. So when we want to assign people to do something, then we must look at their capacity. Because if you assign something that needs to be done in the community to somebody that does not have the capacity to do that thing, you are not bringing that community forward. Because that person will always bring back or be a slow down everybody. So as a leader, while you are looking at community organizing, you must think in terms of member capacity. And that is what Chief Kadilo has done. He has looked at you and he has seen some potential in you. And he believed that you can lead that section. You can lead that people. You can lead that area of the community independently to a greater height. So you are not possibly going to be able to do it yourself. Maybe you are in one section of this community. So how are you going to be able to do the same thing that Kadilo is doing now, to give you capacity to those who that is directly under you? You have to think in terms of members' capacity. You also have to think and understand the types of people in the community, the idiots, the tribal people, and the citizens. So when you are going to partner, when you want to partner, I'm sure you would like to partner with the citizen, because the citizen has the community at heart, unlike every other person's. Okay. So you think of think in terms of member capacity. Also think in some of social capacity, because some people it's difficult to relate with them. So those who are leaders and those who are going to be leaders, those who are going to be dedicated to do something, how sociable are they? How are they able to carry people along? How are they able to encourage people, to motivate people? So if you put those that can motivate people, that can carry people along, that can sympathize with people, to lead or to carry out assignment, you may less likely get into trouble. But if you put the people that don't know how to relate with people, that the only what they know is to give orders, do it or get out. If you put people who don't have human sympathy, who cannot see that you are crying and cry with you, if you put people who cannot bend down and sweep or remove something that is hanging on your neck, people that cannot touch you, then we are not going to build a better community. So strategic partnership in our company, in community development, we must understand membership capacity, we must understand social capacity, and we also must understand organization capacity. So, here to group at the I mean, that could be formed. The Galliceras sellers, the fish farmers, sellers, the farmers association, different groups, different people can always come together. And they can come together so that collectively we can join our hands to build a better community. And that also reminds us of collaboration leadership. So, I am in charge of youth. I can't say, because I am also a leader in charge of youth, I don't have to listen to you, a leader in charge of women. I can't say, because I am the head of the chiefs, then I cannot listen to you, who is just, a town crier. So there has to be collaboration. We must be able to collaborate with one another. And when we collaborate with one another, because we are in a society where people is man, no man. And when we operate by man, no man, who you know, then you are not building a better society. So we must be able to understand collaboration. And that means how our individual citizens, how citizens can, come together and develop or make a difference in our community. Collaboration. Yes, I'm a leader here, but I can come to you and ask for your help, or I can invite you to join me. Not only that, we must also, as we talk about collaborating with one another, we must look at preparation and planning. When you talk about, for us to be able to collaborate, to partner, to strategically develop our community, we must understand preparation. So before you want to partner with me, what preparation have you made? What preparation do you need to put together? Or you just want to come to me and say, Uncle Tuka, Brother Tuka, can we do this together? And that thing you say we should do together, you have not thought about it. You have not put any plans. So let me say that, we must understand that leadership involves preparation. Leadership also involves planning. So if I want to partner with you, I must first of all prepare. I must be ready to plan. Because if you don't plan, you are not going to be able to come through or bring out anything. We have started a project, the Barako School project. That's 6 classroom block that some of us, some distinguished sons and daughters, both home and abroad, are doing. Since sometime, is it last year, this year or last year? Yes, sometime this year. But I tell you, right from the day that we started that project, right from the day, it has been over four months now, or over 5 months now. Right from the day we started that project, we always meet every Sunday, 4 to 5 hours, sometimes 6 hours here in this platform, just like we are here. This is something we use every Sunday, right from, let's say, February. Is it February? I'm not sure. Right from February up to today, every Sunday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time, we will meet. We will be there 4, 5, 6 hours up to today. So when you are looking at community development, partnering with people, understand that it involves planning. It involves preparation. It can't be in your head. You can't do it from your head. There had to be data collection. And, it also involved data analysis. It also involved reporting. I bet you, if you come to our meeting, the school project meeting that we have every Sunday, if you come to our school project meeting that we have every Sunday, you'll be scared. It is like Kuwait. It is like, sometimes it is like Israel. Sometimes it is like Barako. You have all characters. Some days it rains, some days it's peaceful. So we are collecting data. We are getting information. We are writing things down. We are analyzing it. We are saying, no, this is not correct. No, that figure you gave is wrong. No, you can't just tell me something from your head. Oh, you can't just report something to us. We need to see, we need to know. So, for you to partner strategically in developing a community, any community, our community, Barako community, understand that it will take your preparation and planning. It will get involved in you getting data, collecting data. So if you don't know how to write, better get an assistance that can help you write things. If you don't know how to look at the things that you write, better get some people that know how to do this. Dr. Clement talk about capacity building. When you build every solution, every problem, you can find a solution to it in your capacity, in your community, because you will find people that can do it. On our school project, we have people that if you want to construct one of the rooms that we construct, they will sit down here and they'll tell you how many blocks of cement, how many blocks of cement it will take. They will tell you how many bags of cement you need. They will tell you how much money you need for just one block, one classroom. And this doesn't just come out of someone's head. It comes from somebody who has gotten information, look at information, analyze information, and bring that information and report. That is how we build community. That is how we partner. We don't partner empty-handed. Again, so that's that on collaboration. Let's look at this also. This another statement that I saw that is it could be useful to us. Let me bring up that statement. this statement could be useful to us. A dream written down with a date become a goal. So as a leader, you must come to the table with a dream. And a dream not in your head. Because if you die, nobody can go to your head and bring out what those things that you wanted to do in the Barako community. So you must understand that your vision, your dream, that thing you have in you, you want to bring to the table to assist or to partner with His Highness, His Royal Highness Chief Kadilo Kabari to build Barako community. It must not just remain in your head. Write it down. A dream written down with a date become a goal. A goal broken down into steps become a plan. A plan backed by action become reality. So that's where we want to go. Reality is place that we want to go. We don't just want to have some dreams. We don't just want to have some goals. We don't just want to have some plan, but a plan is the reality. Yes, again, let me use the school project team, those who are constructing that 6 classroom block for the school at home as an example, another example. We had as a dream to build that school. We had as a vision, but we came together and then begin to plan it. We write it down. We begin to map step by step, the stage by stage. And we now begin to follow up with action. We contribute our money, put everything together. And what is the result? You can go to that school now and you will see an additional 6 classroom block. That is an evidence. That is result. That is a result. And that is a partnership in community building. Yesterday, that building was not there. That place was like this bush. And we are looking at building a city like this. It will not come overnight. It will step our gradual step. Building, putting one structure, developing one human being, adding one strategy until we get to the point where we have that city. So, and then I also want to say that to partner, strategic partnership in community building also involve decision-making and implementation. Decision-making and implementation. So how do we make decision? How do you make decision? How do you want to make decision for your people, for your community, for your section, or for the good of the community? You want to go to the people and make a decision that favors the people that have money over the people that have skill? Do you want to make a decision and so long as somebody is powerful or well-connected, you favor him over somebody that have a process or a process that works? Do you want to make a decision based on APC or PDP or any other party? You have to understand the process of decision-making and implementation. And this could be challenging because we function well if we accept the best practices, if we accept the best procedure, if we look at the person that know better and choose that person above any other means of making decision. So I may begin to round up because I want to end up with sharing my experience, and that will be the crux of my talking on the strategic partnership. So I have started with my view, which is the perspective I want to bring to this subject, which is a kingdom mindset, a king and his domain, and we'll come to do some academic work, which is all I'm talking now, but I want to end up with a practical example on partnership so that you can understand the problems why that we face or we are going to face building a city that is like this. So planning and implementation is also another key. Then institutionalizing what our decisions are to make it a standard. We must be able to learn how to make something a standard. So we want to say from today, this is what we want to happen in Barako. This is the decision that we have taken. This is what we want to see from now going forward. When you get to that point, you are institutionalizing a thing. But how do you get there? You establish a learning plus a best practice of learning by looking at the best options, best things available. Then you begin to plan and implement that best things available. As you see that it works, you make it a standard. And that's why today you go to a city like this, there are traffic lights. There's a way they said that you cannot go through here on the left. They cannot go through there on the right. Everything is planned. How did they get that? They look at other cities and copy or emulate or learn and then come up with their own and formulate and bring things together that will work. So I want to share my experience as I round up strategic partnership in community development. So all I've said so far was to give us a kind of foundational knowledge or an idea of what are the things that are involved when you want to say, I want to partner with you, or you want to partner with me. You don't just get up and say, come, let's do this. You have to think, you have to have a vision, you have to plan, you have to put yourself together, you have to have something. You bring something to the table, and someone else will look at it with you. So, over the years, I've thought of doing so many things. My plan to industrialize Barako community. And, sometimes people back home think that nobody cares about the community. No, but the problem is strategic partnership. They don't find any partnership. If people understand that they can partner with you, they will come and invest with you or in you. So it's not that people does not care. You say, oh, this is my son. He is in Lagos. He is in Kaduna. He is in America. He doesn't care about community. He doesn't care about Barako community. Have you found out why? Let me tell you now, the problem is strategic partnership. They have not found anybody to partner with. And this is a good moment for you to know that that's the problem. So now that you are a leader in your own section, in your own area of the community, how can you attract your own fellow Barako people first to come and invest in your own area? Do a project, do something that will benefit the people. So that's one of the tasks you can look at. And we are talking about strategic partnership. So what do I need to do as a leader? How do I need to place myself? What example do I need to create? How do I need to, mobilize the people so that when others will see, they will say, no, John Bente, Kale John Ngeza Krukekia, John Boro, Kale John Ngeza Krukekia, let me go and buy land in John Boro. Balkona Kinekitu Akruve, Ariakin Dalokere, Sigbam Kaleketon, Ngeza Krukekia. So how can you make your section of the community safe? How can you make the section of your own community lovely that people will want to come to your section of the community? partnership. So I had thought of starting a fish farming. I thought of starting a poultry farming. I thought of a plantation. For instance, a pen na terapeta a pen na yugagban owa a pen na terapeta o. Ela for palm plantation from the desi pen na to de me pen na. Desi pen na to de me pen na. Because the ego or the stream that we have, we are not putting economic value to our stream, and it become a waste. That stream was a gift to Barako. Barako can use that section of the land from Penna to Petao for economic value, like a distance of a goalpost from Desi. A distance of a goalpost. Kukajo, Jukajo, the palm oil tree can you plant? Maybe it will take from the front to the back 4. How many will it take from the one length of penna to other length of petao? Maybe it can take up to 100. So you have 4 in the width, and Lord, if it will take 100 by 4, that is how many plantations that can be planted in the Oala. That thing will grow and will forever be for economic value that can be harvested for palm oil and that can be sold as a produce that will help the community in one way or the other. So, that is one thing that can be done. But can you find the owners of Penna to allow you, to partner with you, to do that kind of investment in their stream in Bao? Can you find the owner of Pen Goro to agree with you, to partner with you? You are not destroying any pond. You are not cutting down any of their palm tree, what do you call it? Near Milo Agba. Yeah, you are not cutting down. But Prof, I see you are on mute.
Oh.
All right. And you just go over a pond and plant one, go over another pond and plant one. So that thing is not going to affect anybody. But can you find the owners of those streams, to partner with you to protect that investment and allow the purpose for that investment to come true? So that is the thing. So can you also want to do that kind of a project in Barako? And Barako, the citizens will not go and vandalize, will not go and steal it. So you are talking about strategic partnership in community development. So when we talk about community development, we are looking at many things: human capacity, infrastructure, and fundraising. So, out of my desire to help the community, I started a fish pond. Hold on, let me bring out to show you. I started a fish pond. Stop share before I can bring in something else. I started a fish pond because I wanted to help the youth. I started a fish pond because I wanted to help the youth. Hold on, just give me 1 minute. But I have problem with with partnership. I have problem with partnership. And that's why we are talking about strategic partnership. we must be able to partner in the community development. So what can we do? What can we do as a people to promote partnership in our community? Hold on, let me. Okay. I started a fish pond in Barako. I invested about 1.4 million. I invested about 1.4 million to do, sorry. I invested about 1.4 million to do this project, but it was vandalized. I don't know how to remove this thing now. I need to remove this thing so that I can show. Hold on, just give me 1 minute. Let me stop sharing. I invested about 1.4 million to do a fish farming because I needed to, my plan was to industrialize the community. But there was a problem of partnership. This is the point that is there. Hold on, just one more time. I'm trying to show you, so it's not just talk. Sorry, I'm doing everything at the same time. This was the This is just for us to see.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I'm showing this.
Is ongoing.
That's the reason why I'm showing this.
It is a 50 kg. Knowing the number that make up that 50 kg is the process that is on. This is the last buyer for the day. Busy counting. 121 pieces of this size. I gave 121 pieces.
Okay. One more. Sorry. One more thing I need to show. Okay.
No
That's the reason I'm showing this. Just wait.
Một nghìn mai. Đây là vậy. Còn phong 300,000. Bé na nên có bà ô đi mà nên là bố bà ra. Oh, no, I got 300,000. Yeah, the king. 1 point something million or 2 million. Yeah, yes. Because we have Korabiana, we have 2,000. 2,000. Table size. A table size. Yeah. So if at the rate of at least, let's say 500. Multiply 2,000 by 500, you know how much we have now. Yeah, 2 million. We have 2 million. So we are short of 2 million now.
Okay. So why did I show all that? Talking about strategic partnership in community development. How do you bring development to a community? It's not going to come from the air. It's not just going to abracadabra, and appear. It is step by step, 1 by 1, 2 by 2, 3 by 3. Before you know, the environment has changed. That fish pond had a minimum of 6 people working there. 6 people. That fish pond, I was to duplicate it into 5 other compounds in the community. That fish pond, I was supposed to build 30,000 fish capacity at one of the streams. But I was starting that one to build that one and I invested 1.4 million. You heard them. They said, I was thinking, oh, they can get 300,000. They said, no, it's 2 million. And from the beginning to the end was 1.4. That thing takes 4 months to grow. That big fish you see there is 4 months. 4 months. And 4 months, we were supposed to get 2 million. That has covered the expenses. Another 4 months, that next 2 million will be gained. Another 4 months, next 2 million will be gained. My plan, I said, I want to do this for the youth. We will do this one, and then once we do it 2 times, we will go and do it another place. Then we'll leave that one to the owner of that compound. We will do it another compound. We will do it up to 5 compounds. After 2 sessions, we leave it to the owner of the compound. And then we will go and open a bigger one in the farm, by the stream that will carry 30 capacity. So the ones that we have started, this small one will continue to run. Now it will become the property of those who volunteer their compound to get that done, and they can do that as their business. But the bigger one will now be for the youth, the people, where we will raise money to finance the community. The plan was to the marketplace, the marketplace was to pull down that place, build that place, and and then on the lower level for people to have a market. But on the top, we will deck it and make it a storage, a cold house, refrigeration, a cold house where we can store our fish and people from other community can bring their fresh produce and store in that. We are going to build a big capacity of refrigerator, a cold house at that place. Guess what? How much did I get from that fish? Because one day somebody wake up and before everybody will know, they sold the whole thing without anybody aware. How much did I end up getting from that fish, from that pond? 300,000. So now, put yourself in my position. Are you gonna ever ask me to come and invest in Barako again? Strategic partnership. If I don't have a good heart, I will not do it again. Because I've wasted my money. This is my own story. All of you have your story. How you have wanted to do one thing or the other for the community, and instead of the community to help you, to support you, to guide it and protect it for you, they destroy it. They waste it. As a leader in your own area, how can you attract people to come and do business with you, to come and build something, to come and start something, to come and do something? How is the responsibility? And this is a problem. I'm leaving it to you. How can you do it? Are you going to use this knowledge that we are talking about, these things we are trying to expose you, and begin to think and say, hey, now that Chief Kadilo has made me a leader of my zone, or a chief, or a leader of council, what can I do to attract people, investment, to attract good people, to attract people with capacity, to attract people with skill, to attract people with vision, to attract people to come and support and let us build Barako community? Or are you going to now sit down there and wait for any good Samaritan that will stop by Barako to say, let me do this, and everybody will look for how to steal money, or how to get their own portion, how to get their own, all about their pockets? No, we cannot build community like that. I thought of Naranyima say, yeah, bakery, yeah, the anywhere Gokana. We could have bakery in Barako. Build a bakery in Barako. Let's have a bakery factory in Barako. But who do you find to partner with? Nobody. If you dare give money to anybody now, forget it. They will not do it. Even if they accept to do it, not because they are doing it because they are interested, but they are doing it waiting for an opportunity for them to steal, to dupe you, and to make their living out of it. We cannot build community like that. Everybody is running away from Nigeria now because Nigeria first is not safe. People are corrupt. Capacity building, leadership requires that for us to think, what can we do for the people? So many other things. Now, I want to read by, end by reading some Bible verses again. For us to be able to develop and strategically build our community together, we must come back to basis. And that basis has to be on truth, has to be on Kakabe. You have to understand that you are not just appointed to lead people for yourself, for your self-importance, or to be able to oppress the people, but that you have something that you can give to the community. You can play your role to make that community better from what it is now. Sorry, I guess that the time my time is up. All right, I understand. Okay, I got you. My time is up. All right, so let me read this scripture and then we'll round up. Malachi chapter 6, chapter 3 from 6 to 7. I, the Lord, do not change. So we must understand who is our source, who can help us, who do we need to lean on, who do we need to look to. Look at the extent, the magnitude of the problem here, that nobody wants to invest. Most people in America, most people, nobody wants to come to Barako to invest. Why? Because they cannot find anybody they can trust, they can partner with. Anybody that can take care of what they will need to do. Nobody is welcoming them. Everybody is going to Ikwere land to build houses and build Ikwere city. That Ikwere city was like a bush. But today, Equality City is island because everybody is going down there. Why is everybody going to Equality to build their community for them? Because it is safe. Because they don't steal. Because they don't destroy you. Because they don't stand on your way. They help you to be who you need to be. How can you make, even if not others, your own people, your own village people from Barako to come to Barako and be interested in investing? So you don't have everything, but you can use what you have to partner with people. So I don't have money. So what is wisdom? Wisdom requires that, okay, I don't have money, but let me partner with those who have money to develop our community. So let me read. It said, I, the Lord, do not change. So the descendants of Jacob are not destroyed. Ever since the time of your ancestors, you have turned away from my decrees and have not kept them. Return to me, and I will return to you, said the Lord. Zechariah chapter 1:1-4. In November of second year of King Darius' reign, the Lord gave this message to the prophet Zechariah and sons of Becher and grandsons of Edo. I, the Lord, was very angry with your ancestors. Therefore say to the people, this is what the Lord of heaven army say, return to me, and I will return to you, says the Lord of heaven armies. Don't be like your ancestors, who will not listen or pay attention when their early prophets said to them, this is what the Lord of heaven army says. Turn from your evil ways and stop all your evil practices. James chapter 4, verse 5. From verse 5. Do you think hello? Hello? Yeah, okay. Okay, I'm stopping now. Do you think the scripture have no meaning? They say that God is passionate, that the Spirit has placed within us should be faithful to him, and he gives grace generously, and scripture says, God opposes the proud, but give grace to the humble. So humble yourself before God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. So on this basis, because of time, I want to stop here. But what I am bringing to you attention today is that there is a problem. Leaders of Barako, how can we solve this problem? How can we encourage people to come and build and develop Barako? It requires strategic partnering. So we have to understand those things we have said and think of how to put them in reality. This is my book, Strategic Partnership. It's on Amazon, it's on Akada book. If you go and get a copy, you will get a lot of knowledge on how to be a blessing to your community and to any community. So on this note, I believe I have said something. If I have offended anybody, please forgive me. It's just passion. And I pray that God will help us. Thank you, Chief Kadilo Kabale and the Council of Chiefs for this opportunity. Blessings.
I think we can do better than that. Pastor Lawrence Barako, you are wonderful. Pray that God will continue to bless you in Jesus' name. Amen. We're going to have
No, but I get over there as Tobari. But now I came back to do this. I get can ask. Okay, yes. My chair, thank you. But then no power.
when we are going to get it for the woman leader, and then closing prayer. We have the little because share their voice. Let everybody have something to, you know. Did you share the voice to everybody? Then, when that is going on, tomorrow, the summit will commence by 12 o'clock. And the first topic is youth inclusiveness in community leadership. The second lecture will be leadership, integrity, and financial stewardship. The third lecture will be value system and community development. Finally, tomorrow we'll be looking at making Barako great again through strategic actions. So today, no of that will be a very fast. So don't be ordered. And again, we will talk the executive chairman of the local government. Will be here, right with us. After I take ideas out. So then they go and then they again 1 or 2 persons stay on it. So then they come back here, but they die. Then we know. So then get down, right? All leaders, Council of Chief, CDC, Advisory Council, Education Committee, Health Committee, Security Committee, everybody have to gather at the palace by 11, and by 11:30 we process from there to here. We wanted to do that today, and the rate of us. So tomorrow we are going to do that. Okay? So having said that, equally on the community woman leader to give us a vote of thanks. So, the community woman leader is a seasoned Democrat, British trained nurse, no other person than Pastor Barako to Barako. Finally, the elder of Barako community, and look at the leader of the day. The Malay about the African forever. The God that he gave. Or they were born by the money that will go to no money. Or one night, they done. The woman went back to the human. Then they were dying and one will it will Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
I want to appreciate Dr. Clement.
Amen.
I want to appreciate Dr. Omidewe, who actually portrayed that he is a doctor. He gave us all that we wanted. And our son was in Ghana. You will be wonderful. May God continue to bless you and make you a good citizen of Barako. Thank you very much. And all the viewers who have been watching from the internet, thank you very much for being there and helping with the progress of the program. Thank you very much, and God bless you. God bless you. Thank you all for coming. In Jesus' name.
Amen. Okay. So, while the pastor is coming, we believe that at the end of this program, we shall be moving from idiots to
citizens.
Idiot to tribal people, down to citizens.
Yes.
Praise God. Honor God. Praise the Holy Spirit. Please, can we all stand up? Before I will pray, I really thank God for what God has done today. In fact, He has done a wonderful things. For that, let's talk about the community to God. We thank God that this company that we are spending time to give this thing because we not allowed to give them. Let God establish this thing into our hand. May God take over the work. Because when God is working, man will rest. When God take over everything and do it for us, let us pray. Very short prayer before I pray. Just to pray out and talk to God. God, we try our best. What we do, pray for you to take over everything and establish so that by your knowledge and by your understanding. Father, we cannot do without you. We pray for you to be at front and for you to take everything and do it for us. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Our Father, we thank you today. We honor your name. We thank you for the knowledge. We thank you for the understanding. We thank you for love and for the unity. We thank you for the peace of this community. We thank you that you bring all these things together for this appointed time. For children of Barako and the daughters and sons, so we benefit. God glory and honor be unto you in the name of Jesus Christ. Oh God, Father, as a man, we are doing what we can do. We commit our pride and best to bring this program to the knowledge of us. I pray may you establish this. May you carry along this program. May you do what we cannot do. Oh Lord Jesus Christ, we have nothing to do more than what we are doing now. We pray that you will do mighty unto us in the name of Jesus Christ. Everyone that sponsors this program, all the organizers, everyone that's spending their time, those that spending their money, those that spending their wisdom, their knowledge, those that are really making things to be in this forum. I pray unto you. Father, we have no silver or gold to give to them. But I pray for our pastor president. Oh God, for the foundation that these people are laid today, I pray for their children to be blessed. In the name of Jesus Christ.
wonderful community. God, we raise something against that power. We raise something against that man. We raise something against that woman. May your anger be upon in the name of Jesus Christ. The mothers and daughters of our Lord are gathered today all over everywhere to the world and have said that we want to build this community to become a wonderful community, to become a place that people will live and be loved. God, I pray, take over this world, establish this world, let this come to pass, let good people come here, let people start to say, can this Barako be like this? Oh God, I know that you will do it and take glory. Your glory alone is it, in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you, everybody.
Okay,
Was that again?
Sister?
Very, very awesome.